It is. It's podcast day. We're excited. We're digging out there. What have we got? Ooh, yes.
Dude, it's fucking podcast day.
Takes you back to that time of when you remember what you were doing when you first listened to that album, or
What is going on, you champions? That's right. Yes.
What up?
Podcast day. Two dudes talk music. Yes, and stew. I've been stewing on this shit all day.
What is going on?
Yes.
It's that time. It's that time. Podcast time. Yeah, spill the beans, man. Spill the beans. We want it. We want this. The exclusive
Yeah.
details. Time of the week, and it is fucking. This is an extra special week, my friend. Because did you see the news today, my friend?
I saw the news today.
You saw the news today. For those that may not know what we're talking about, the New Metal Madness tour just got announced. We got Waylon from Mushroom Head and Achilles Confession, and we got Anders. That's right, the original Slipknot vocalist. They're going to be coming down here. They're going to be doing Australia. They're going to be doing Aotearoa. They're going to be doing a bunch of shows around, performing, just a whole bunch of stuff. Anders is doing the Make, Feed, Kill, Repeat album in full.
Which is going to be
Holy
crazy.
fuck.
I'm actually going to dig out.
Holy fuck.
I think I actually bought the bootleg of that in Camden in the UK when I was like 18 or 19. So I'm going to have to try and dig that thing out, man.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy. So that one's coming up. Tickets go on sale for that on Fuck It. I think it's this coming Monday. So New Metal Mayhem, go and check it out. Go to the Killer's Confession page. It's all over it. Go to Chaosis. Chaosis are on that one as well. Sin Soto, Piston Fist doing the whole thing. So that's going to be an incredible tour. That lineup is fucking mental. So really excited to see that got announced. We are going to be there in some capacity, I'm sure. Like, I don't think we're going to miss that. Like, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I live my life in jorts. The New Metal Renaissance is real. So I'm fucking pumped for that. But, mate, my friend, all the excitement of that, we have some very, very special guests today.
We do.
We got some very special guests today. Someone that I've known one of these guys going back, 15 years or something.
Wow.
We were, we've been around the traps together. We played a bunch of shows together in various times as well. But I'm fucking excited. They just made an announcement. They got a new song coming out with CJ McMahon. Holy fuck. Let's get them on. We got Our Last Enemy.
How are we
Ollie
going?
and Wade from Our Last Enemy. How you fucking going, boys?
Boys. Good.
I've got to get rid of these. We got 4.
We are fucking excited. We are really excited. Thank you very much for jumping on the podcast. We really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for making the time. And fuck, this it's pretty exciting times for you guys, right?
Yeah, man. We're just, as you said, we just announced a new track, which is out, I think, what's the 16th? Next Friday, so not too long away.
16th
A week
of
and
June,
a day.
my fucking birthday. So what a
Really?
birthday present, huh? Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, it is. 16th of June is my birthday, so
Yeah, I mean, we did
perfect present. Yeah. Very much appreciated. You guys fucking we did get a little, for those of you, we did get a little sneaky preview of the track, and I gotta say, fuck me dead if this isn't some of the heaviest shit you guys have ever come out with.
And I don't know how much heavier it can get. It got heavier.
Yeah.
Oh, we can do it.
Quite clearly.
Everything, I mean, this is, every time you guys do a new release, it steps it up. It really does. You guys step it up in terms of the production and just, the musicality and just the quality of what you guys are bringing out. It gets better every single time, and this really is, holy shit. If you guys are fans of Our Last Enemy, I can tell you right now, you guys are going to fucking love this new track. It's right up your alley, but also it brings something a bit new as well. They got the man himself, CJ McMahon, on guesties for it. So, fuck. How you guys feeling about it?
Stoked. Very psyched.
Yeah, man. It's, to be honest, like you said, it's one of our heavier ones, but it's also a throwback, I guess, to where we came from, but also a bit of that new stuff in there as well. And then adding CJ to the mix just took it up to that next level, and changed the song once again. Because to be honest, we wrote the song with no one in mind for a guest. You know what I mean? It kind of came about after the fact, I guess.
Wow.
Okay.
And we worked on it together and had a few ideas on it, and yeah, it just went to a different place. And I knew that would be the one. Like when we did the record, I was like, if we're going to get a guest, I'll probably hit up CJ. It's been fucking 20 years since I guested on his first band's record, so he owes me one. And this would be the song. This is our closest, like, most full deathy kind of, vibe to it that would suit his vocals, I guess. But yeah, man, we're just stoked. We've been sitting on it for a little while now, like it always happens. You make music and then you wait for the right time and you're itching to get it out. So stoked, pumped.
Yeah, like it's very, very impressive. It really is. So I think it's definitely something. I mean, look, we all know that musicians try to be very humble about their work, but I think this is something you guys can really brag about and be proud of, because this song is fucking woo. Is this part of like a whole album that you mentioned there? It's an album that's coming out and it's part of that, or is it a standalone thing? Sorry.
Yeah, I guess. Ooh, there's another announcement in the works. So
okay, all right.
I touched on that. There's a few more pieces to the puzzle, and this is the puzzle that started all the way back in bloody 2020, or when we originally did the first single, Never Coming Back.
Yep.
And As Above, So Below was the EP. And then obviously we know what happened for 2 years in the world. So things slowed down a bit, but it's just huge for us because it's the completion of this cycle. I think you'd call it, like, something we've been working on for the last couple of years. So yeah, man, there's more to come. There is more to come. That's to answer your question. Yeah, and that'll be all revealed very, very soon.
Oh,
Cool. So people definitely need to keep an eye on all the socials and all that good stuff.
100%.
So
Busy Band is a happy band. We love seeing busy bands because they're happy bands. It's what we like. It's why we do this shit. And big love to CJ, the Pineapple drummer. Just dropped in my head.
Yes.
Big love, dudes, and keep up the good shit. Thanks, man. Thank you so
Shout
much
out
for
to
dropping
DJ.
in. I hope
That's
you drop.
always nice to see you, man.
And if you haven't gone to, if you don't know already, CJ is doing a drum clinic. That is coming
Yes.
up for all you avid drummers out there that want to see what makes Chaosis go pa-dum-pa-dum-pa-dum-pa-da-ta.
And if you're a drummer and you're trying to up your game, you've got something to learn from CJ for sure. So if you're a drummer and you're looking to learn a little bit more, hit up his stuff. He's got that drum clinic coming, so you want to be on top of that one. Yeah, so bring it back to you guys. So obviously we got the song coming out. Is there a film clip that's coming with it that we can expect to see?
Hey! There you go. Look, you guys, you got your fingers on the pulse here. Where have you been? Have you been hacking into our emails? Like,
we just ask really good questions.
Oh, you guys just wait. You got no idea of the questions.
Yeah, they
that
get
are coming your way.
Oh, it's a boy.
Oh dear.
Oh. We've had a beer accident.
Oh no.
Catastrophe. That was the one that I went pa-dum-pa-ta.
Ah, see, that's what happened. You got cocky, and then you ended up getting sprayed in the face for it. I
did.
I'm on the. What are you drinking? Beer? I'm on the.
Yeah,
on
I
the
was asked, what are you swirling? You swirling away there?
Yeah, man, I'm on the red wines.
What are you drinking?
This is a Tempranillo.
A Tempranillo. Very nice. Very nice.
That means precisely nothing to me. I'm like, is it red wine or a white wine? That's about it. I'm like, I mean, you're a man that knows your wines. You know your alcohol, so.
I love
man.
Love me a good Grenache or a Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
You know,
Nice.
just something a bit thinner. I don't mind a Shiraz in the deeps of winter.
Yep.
But
yeah, you know what you're talking about. Yeah, you go from your lighter to your heavier. Yeah, nice.
yeah. But mainly in summer, it's Pinot Grigios all the way.
Nice.
That's pretty much all. It's all I muck around with as far as whites go.
Yeah.
So B-Buddy's classy. Don't just sit down sucking on these brown bottles all the time.
Yeah, the name's deceiving, isn't it? Beer buddy, but he's really connoisseur buddy.
It's alcohol buddy.
I've got no idea what you're fucking talking about.
Yeah, Wade's a beer man. He's all about the beer.
Well, mate,
Ollie's had like 40 bottles of wine here, and they're all still here.
oh wow.
Mate, yeah, I got gifted. I think when I bought my fucking house up here, I got like
Jumper off.
2 people bought me bottles of wine as gifts, and they're still in the fucking cupboard. I'm like, I don't know. But see, when I drink, I'm like, it's either 1 or 2 ciders, and that's it, or it's fucking like it's like rocket fuel. You know what I mean? Like,
All on. Yeah, man.
Hazardous one. Big love. Hazard Halo. Even bigger love to you, darling. How are ya? Our Last Enemy rocks. Yes, they most certainly do. And thank you so much for the follow earlier.
yes, thank you,
Oh,
Hazardous
pop up.
One. Very much appreciated.
Nice.
We're starting to get there. So we're up to 109 followers, so that's pretty
it.
good. That's
All
pretty
this
good.
is
If you know some
awesome.
people that
Love.
might like what we do, send them our way. Don't be afraid to get in the chat, guys. We really appreciate it. If you've got any
have any
questions for the band,
Get
throw
it
them in
in.
there. We always love to see that. Can't guarantee you'll get an answer, but depends what the question is, because some stuff
Yeah.
always has to remain under wraps, right?
And think about the question. Do you really want the answer?
Sometimes
Yeah,
it's
we-
better off not knowing. Yeah.
And we can't, within reason, like we can't be getting this none of this like what's the meaning of life shit, because
Hey,
I'll give
We're-
you.
we're-
I'll take.
we're
that.
not musicians because we're smart. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll take that. I'll take those. I'll take those questions.
no, so is there? So okay, so obviously we kind of hit on a little sneaky there about asking about a video. Is that I assume that if there is one, that's not coming on Friday with the song.
No, it's not.
No,
yeah,
okay.
There could be a visual component. We'd like to have some sort of visual component for every song we release.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Well, that's
so
kind of
forget
what
it.
you have to do now, right?
Yeah, so if you head on over to our YouTube channel, you can see all our visual components for the last EP, and give us a follow, and that would be great.
There you
On
go.
that
Go
grind.
do that. Do that, everyone.
Yes. Be sure to follow every artist that we have on here. Go and
Yeah.
follow all their stuff, because we try and support. We try and get people to support artists here, and that's what we're all about. We're all about spreading the love. And I mean, look, if you like heavy music and you're in Australia and you haven't already heard about Our Last Enemy, I mean, first of all, what have you been doing with your fucking life? You really need to get out more, because I don't think there's any way you could be into heavy music in Australia and not know who Our Last Enemy is.
Well,
'Cause, I mean-
the best way to think of it, if you're a fucking massive Lamb of God fan and you're wondering why Lamb of God went stagnant, it's because I think Our Last Enemy took all the ideas now, and they just do it that little bit better.
oh shit!
I'm throwing that down. I'm throwing that down.
That's a big
Yeah.
call.
That's nice, beer buddy.
I'm throwing that
like
down. At the moment, I'm like, yeah, to
Take
me,
more of their
yeah, it's
ideas.
just gone a bit stagnant.
Well, I mean, we got Wade here with the nice big beard, so he kind of got that's a definite Lamb of God vibe going on.
Oh yeah.
It's
some of their
also
boys.
a laziness thing.
John, old mate Campbell there on the bass over there with his massive old man beard.
Yeah. Every time I go to a Lamb of God show, I get real drunk and just yell out, "You shall not pass."
Yeah, Wade gets that a bit too.
Yeah. That's why I got the hood on, so I can look like a fucking wizard.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, that's awesome.
best
Working.
best D&D player ever, right?
that's mad.
You look like a wizard who's about to just drop a mad beat. You're a DJ wizard. Like, you got your headphones on. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
DJ Wizard and the Evil Lizard.
Yeah, I don't have my decks in here to do all the scratches.
He does
And,
have decks, by the way, guys. He's got decks.
I'm shitting them, but I have them.
Oh, don't worry, I'm
Oh.
the same. I got some in the other room there.
Doesn't matter.
Hopeless,
No,
but
I just like to drink and put on music on there and be like, oh, this bit needs some effects and shit.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
a Twitch.
no,
That's a
that-
Twitch channel right there. Travacula,
Yeah.
thank you very
Every-
much for the follow.
Yes, thank you, Travacula. I mean, look, I'm the same. Any party I have, and I mean, Ollie might be able to confirm this. Like, if I get sufficiently drunk and I become a strip club DJ, so I like change the song every 2 minutes because I want to hear the next fucking song.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, boy,
So it looks like, looking at your background, I think you're similar to Wade. So I think Wade just buys stuff he likes the look of, and then he doesn't even use them. So that's what he has in the decks. He goes, "Oh, I might just get some
Ooh.
decks." Gear nerd, you know what I mean? I don't mean that in a
Yeah.
bad way, but you guys do like
Gear
collecting.
he's got really bad gear acquisition syndrome.
There it
But,
is.
No, I am pretty bad. Like I've literally just finished a process that took me about 6 months of selling off a bunch of guitars and gear that I have acquired that I'm like, realistically, I have no use for it. So,
Yeah, I'm about
that's,
to start that.
yeah, well, there you go. So
I
keep an
have-
eye out.
I-
Go follow Wade if you want to sell some shit. If you want to buy some shit, sorry.
See,
I
I'm
I have a
new.
question for you now, though.
Mm.
So when you did that, how was Facebook Marketplace and the people? How did people want you to give pay ID and have their brother come over and pick it up?
Oh, fucking scam. Oh, mate. You know what? It was fine for me until I tried to sell some furniture.
Oh, it got worse with that.
Once I started trying to sell furniture, that's when I started getting the pay ID scams. And ever since then, everything else I've put up, I've had it. I've had people reach out about it, and they're pretty convincing too. Like they start to get a bit good. So like I don't think it's a chat bot or anything. I think it's an actual person. But as soon as I say no cash only, I just don't get any things. But look, I found most people. You know what? Okay, you know what I found weird trying to sell some of this shit on Facebook Marketplace. Two of the basses that I sold. One was an Ibanez multi-scale 5-string kind of deal, and one was an acoustic bass. Now, these people came over to buy them. They had no interest in actually playing them before handing over their cash. They were just like, all right, yeah, here you go. I'm like, do you not want to test it out first and make sure I'm not selling you a dud? Like acoustic bass is kind of like, oh yeah, okay, acoustic bass, yeah, you can see it's fine, but you want to see if it's comfortable. Do you want to see if you like the groove? Oh, no, just cool, buy it, whatever. All right. Look, at the end of the day, I don't mind. You're gonna give me the money for it, fine.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, one of the Ibanez, the 5-string multi-scale. I had this guy show up with like 5 fucking people. It was like he brought his whole band with him to buy this fucking bass. Well, I'm like, yeah, come on in. I got it set up in the studio for you to show you. And I pick it up, and he tries to hand me the cash straight away. I'm like, I put it in his hands. I'm like, try it first. Like, I don't want you to think.
Please try your instrument before you buy it, please.
Yeah, like I don't get it. Like I would never. Like, okay, yes, I've bought brand new equipment online without trying it, but I would never buy a second-hand instrument without fucking trying it out first.
No way.
Nah.
I don't understand.
Your mic has just gone real hot out of nowhere.
Oh shit! Really sorry about that.
No. I don't know why it happened. It just sort of became a bit. It sounds like you're sitting in a bathroom.
Ooh,
Oh really?
Yeah.
Too hot for TV.
Very, very strange. Hang
It
on
just
a second.
happened out of nowhere.
It's all right.
It sounds fine on my end, but I'm
Yeah.
guessing something on the stream.
I don't know if it's maybe just me.
Now he's gone completely. Gone
Yeah,
cold.
it's gone now.
No, he's gone now.
But
Huh?
No, I think he's just fixing up his EQ.
Oh,
Alright, how's that?
Yeah, there you go.
Cool.
Bit more on your volume.
Oh, you want a bit more? I'll just move it up here. Here we go. A little
There
bit
you
closer.
go. That's beautiful.
a bit
Sorry
more
about
my
that. I
can.
got so many inputs and outputs on this fucking studio setup. It's like,
It literally happened out of nowhere.
you know what? I went in and it switched to the webcam audio, so I don't know why that happened. But let me know if it happens again. I'll go in and switch it back. But yeah,
Brilliant.
so
Try before you buy.
excited for this new song. Yeah, but yeah, try before you buy.
Try before you buy.
Yeah, 100%.
I was just gonna say, man, does that speak to your trustfulness? Do people just go, this guy's so genuine, I don't even need to try it, or is it speaking to their stupidity?
I don't know. I mean, maybe. Well, okay, so the acoustic bass, the guy didn't come into the studio. It was just in my living room. The other guy came in into the studio space here, and so I don't know if it's the fact that it's a studio space, and they're like, oh, okay, this guy's got a ton of gear.
Legit,
You know,
yeah.
He's legit. He's not gonna think, but I don't even know, man. Like,
Might even be quality of your ad.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And the photos you put up, they're just like, no cracks. It's either that or they're just going to absolutely decimate the thing as soon as they get home and just rip the guts out of it and put something new in.
yeah,
It's
I don't know.
It's a Franken bass.
But I
Yeah.
just don't want anyone to be able to accuse me of selling them a lemon. You
Yeah.
know, so I'm always like,
Well,
try
you know,
it
You know you can't.
before you go. So I know that you know it's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
more about protecting myself than anything
Yeah.
else. But
They
That
probably
makes
see
sense.
the
yeah,
yeah.
don't fall for pay ID scams on fucking Facebook Marketplace. If you're selling anything on there, only accept cash when they come over. Or if they're going to
Straight
do pay ID, have them do it in front of you when they are there. Don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But
But
yeah,
when you-
so let's get back on track. Let's get back
Yeah,
on track.
let's get back on
Yeah.
track.
The new song we wanted to things. Tangents to Kyle's thing. We should. I don't know why I got on one there.
No, it was my
Um,
fault. The beer
I
pop.
think it was like my bad.
so obviously, like, yeah, you said you've known CJ for quite a while, and you know you did a song for one of his bands many moons ago, and you kind of reached out and were just like, hey, do you want to come and, like, you know, and you do one for us now and everything. Was his stuff that he like? Did he kind of was he able to jump on right away and be like, I know exactly what I want to do? Did this go through some iterations? Like, how was that process coming together from that side of things?
Yeah, well, we obviously sent him the track first and the lyrics, and where he's kind of like, "What do you want me to do? Like, I like the song. Where do you think I fit?" And then we kind of gave some suggestions. We're like, you know, this line, every second line, and then you can do that line of the chorus, 2 lines there. You know, we kind of gave some direction, I guess. And he sent us back a bit more than that, and then we're like, "Oh, cool." And he's like, "Do whatever you want with it." And we gave it to our mixer. But the funny thing is, when it came back, what happened, Wade? I think we got it sent back, and there was like something was out of whack. I guess like his vocal was coming a couple of seconds too late where it should be. But then we're like, hey, it's like a call and response. Like that kind of works. So yeah, but you know these happy accidents happen all the time. You know what I mean? But as you'd know, but it kind of then changed the song again as well. So he's not just shadowing me or having what I would do there. We're actually in it together, doing a bit of a call and response. You probably heard that as it kicks off. And then we come together, obviously, on the chorus. So yeah, I guess as I said, song was totally written, dude. The whole was all there, ready to go. Sent it to him, and he just put his stuff on top, and then we kind of moved it around a little bit with studio magic. And yeah,
But I love that studio magic.
Yeah. We cut up and ruined his performance until it sounded good with us.
that was great.
So on that, I mean, it's been a little while since, you know, we've kind of talked about this stuff. I know I saw you briefly when you were up in Brisbane last time, I think, for the
Yes.
at the back room. We spoke.
Oh
Briefly.
yeah.
By the way, I know we kind of spoke a little bit about Matty at the time there. Good to see he's back on board. Good to see he's doing well.
Yep.
Really happy. Really happy to see that. You know, because he's a hard-working guy and he's a very talented musician. So I'm glad to see him. You know, he's able to get back at it with you guys.
Yeah, man. So
that's
are we, dude. Yeah. Awesome.
But yeah, so have you guys got? So you mentioned you kind of got someone that's doing your mixing and stuff for you. Is that someone that you're working with regularly? Is this someone that you knew you kind of brought on board for it? And have you guys looked at doing any of this stuff, you know, like yourselves, or is that something you always like to leave externally?
Well, I guess it's funny you say that. So generally, all the pre-production mixing I do here in my little studio. But we did get this one also mixed by DW Norton, so he did the final mix on it. But in saying that, we released a cover song last year, which I did the mix on that. So
Okay.
sort of depending on the release, how many songs it is, if I can get the right sound or what I'm after, or if I've got the time.
Yep.
And just, yeah, whatever works best for the songs, basically, I think we go with.
Yeah, like Wade said, this one and the last record, the EP, as above so below, was all it was mixed by DW Norton from Super Heist and a bunch of other bands. And then it was sent off to a guy in Texas that he used for mastering, who did a mad job. He gave us back like a streaming master, a YouTube master, a radio master, a vinyl master, like all these different little.
Oh,
Well, yeah, 'cause
wow.
they all need to be subtly
Compression-
different now, right?
The
Like-
compression rates. That. He's figured it out.
Well, that's why when, you know, I mean, it's something that a lot of bands are doing now, and I
Fuck,
think
that's fucking
what
great
was
of
it
you.
when Metallica released Death Magnetic, right? I remember reading up about that. Like, I'm a Metallica super fan, and when I was reading up about the lead up to that, when they're like, "Oh yeah, we did it all analog and we mastered it for it was mastered for vinyl." That's what we had in mind when we did all that stuff. And so when I got it on CD, it sounded fucking weird. I'm like, it doesn't quite sound right. And then when I got the vinyl, I'm like, that's why it sounds weird on CD, because they just put the
Oh
wrong
no,
master.
no. The problem with the CD was that they brickballed the fuck out of it.
Well, yeah.
If you want a digital copy that's listenable, on some very reputable websites out there, people have made their own mixes from when they released it on Guitar Hero, and they sound better.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Wow.
Google it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
wow.
you know what? I saw a guy did basically re-recorded like all of Saint Anger. Like re-recorded and remixed all of Saint Anger with like
The
better
snares
quality
turned on.
drums and everything like that, and changed the arrangements on some of the songs so they weren't as long. Took out some of the more meandering parts. And I'm like, God damn, it makes for a tight fucking album when it's done properly. It's just a shame that Metallica didn't do it properly. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So you guys have been working with DW for a while now, then, yeah?
Yeah, we did a bunch of stuff with him. He kind of like Wade said, we did all pretty much. We tracked it at Wade's studio, most of it. I did the vocals at the Brain in Sydney, which
Oh
is
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Clayton.
love the Brain.
Mm.
They got some good stuff. They've always got good stuff coming out of there.
Yeah, so well, that's my usual for vocals. So I did that. And then yeah, did send it all to him. We did a bit of comping on all that kind of stuff. We tried to make it as easy for him as possible, do as much as we could, and in the process of mixing, he had a lot of ideas as well. And then slowly we're like, oh, he's kind of producing this a little bit too. You know what I mean? But for the mixing rate.
Hey,
but
don't tell him that.
No.
That's when you know they're like, oh, I like these
We're
guys.
paid. We're paid up. We're paid
I
up.
like these guys. It's good. It's good.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, some cool ideas like chop a few things here, put this here, repeat this bit, have it drop out and just have the vocal, and that's when the crowd will sing along with you, Ollie. I'm like, yeah, that's mad. So just cool stuff like that. So he was really good, interactive with this, and then he, as I said, he sent it off to Texas to I forget the guy's name, but he did all those
Sam
masters.
Stryker.
Sam Stryker, yeah, did a really good range of masters for us. So yeah, the material that's coming out now. So Slave for Me was the same, and this track will be the same too. He had to redo this one though, obviously. So as I said, we recorded this song with no guest, and that was going to be that. And then the opportunity came up, and couldn't say no. Popped it on there, and had to have a bit of a remix and a remaster to fit it back in. And yeah,
That is awesome. I love that. I love that. And you can tell, like, as Wade kind of, like, as was pointed out, like, if someone's, like, if you've paid someone to do the mixing or whatever, and then they're coming back to you with some little stuff like that, like, you can tell that they really like it.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
I-
well,
it's a
we're
It's
also,
a very good sign.
yeah, well, he would also let us know which songs were the ones his wife was walking around the house singing, so we knew which ones to be singles.
That's true.
Look, that's
Mate,
it. That's it.
my wife is the exact same. That is how we got. That is how we got Caligula's horse on.
Whichever ones the ones that get stuck in the partner's head, they're always a good choice.
Wow, that's so true. I totally forgot about that, Wade. Yeah, that's right. It's like, oh, Mrs. is singing this one a lot. I think this is a stick. This has got a hook. Put this one out. Yeah, it's funny how that works. Yeah, what about that?
I don't think she was singing "Still Breathing" though.
No, that wasn't one. No, this new song. Yeah, because we did have a couple more on the last record. With a bit of melody in there, I guess you'd call it, and a bit slower and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, like you said at the start, man, Raf, that this one brings back the heavy of old and then some.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the vibes I'm getting from this song is, yes, it's a lot of the newer sound, but I'm definitely feeling vibes and elements that I remember hearing, like, way back when I first heard you guys. Like, I'm talking, fuck, when was it? Okay, I definitely got, especially, you know what, especially around the guitar solo, it gave me the same kind of vibes that I remember feeling when Kazzy and I went to see you guys at the Manning Bar in like 2010,
Yeah.
and was it like dope
It
that
was
you guys
dope.
were
Yeah,
supporting
it
or
was
something?
dope. And
And
Soil, funnily enough, who were just out here.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I know, like, obviously, I know, like, Wade's kind of newer to the band
Mm.
than that period, but like, I'm getting similar vibes that I remember when I went and saw, like, from that kind of era of you guys. So
Cool.
Yeah,
like,
I think I was in the crowd in that era,
yeah, mm,
so I knew what to bring. I knew what they liked.
That's true.
yeah.
That's
Funny how
true.
it works, isn't it?
And so, okay, let's talk about that for a second then. So it's like, how many years is it that you've been in the band now, Wade?
Since 2017.
17, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah. And we did
Yeah.
that Spitfire Prodigy cover. That's right. That was our first thing we did.
Yeah, that was sort of the great transition from Biz to me.
Yes.
And then I remember when I first joined, just to make sure I was getting it all right, I was talking to Biz and being like, all right, I'm pretty sure this is what you're playing here. And it was like, Ish, yeah, you've got it. You should have joined ages ago. We could have both been in the band. So I figured that was a nice passing of the torch. And
Awesome. That's really cool. So did you know the guys from before?
I've
you
known
came in,
I've
or-
known Ollie since I was 16 or something.
Wow.
Fuck yeah.
Like
Okay.
we've hung out at big day outs together many a time and hung out in Brisbane when Anxiety Whispers used to tour, and when Our Last Enemy started, we would play and I'd be in a different band.
I was
Yeah.
thinking about it. Did you say Anxiety Whispers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yes, he
thinking
did.
about that the other day. I
That was-
don't know why that came into my head.
that's like even before Our Last Enemy.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
old.
Yep,
Old
that's gone
school.
back a
I-
long way.
Man, I swear. Did you guys bring out a physical copy EP?
Yeah,
that-
yeah. We had
I reckon.
a CD. Yeah.
I reckon I got it in my box.
Nice. There's a guy from Argentina or somewhere. Every like year or so, he'll reach out, go, dude, please, do you have a copy? And I'm like, man, I'll look around. I don't know. He's like, you please.
Did you know
And then a
what?
year-
If I'm going to go through the box tomorrow, if I find the copy, I'll let you know. And,
Oh,
we'll,
good.
and we'll send it to him. We'll send it to
Mate,
him from love
he'll
from
be-
the Two Dudes Talk Music and Our Last Enemy.
Wow, dude,
I'll
he'll
go
lose it.
rummaging.
And then some of the other old guys have messaged me going, is this guy messaging you? I'm like, yeah, about once or twice a year. He's like, yeah, us, me too. Like, he really wants a copy. He's like, never seen us before from in Europe somewhere.
Oh, there you
But must
go.
have-
Hazardous One. I still have an Anxiety Whispers CD.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
there we go.
There you go.
We
Do you,
might
want
have-
it? Do you have a
we might
do you have a CD burner?
Yeah.
Donate to the super fan.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Old
Yeah.
school. Talking about old school, that's when I was in that band is pretty much when I first started hanging out with CJ. Yeah, so all the stuff comes around full circle.
Yeah, kind of goes way back, and I love that. I love that that you're able to work to find, because it's always good when like you've known someone for a long time and you've both got a passion for music, and then maybe in the past things haven't quite sort of lined up properly, but then you get the opportunity to work together with something. It's always really fun. Like I can. I was trying to do anything with Devoy for the longest time, right?
Yeah.
Trying to make something happen with Devoy for the longest time, and then through sheer luck, it ended up being a fucking Corn. Tribute
That's
show.
right. Yeah, that's right. You guys
You
did
know what I
that,
mean?
yeah.
And I'm like, and we did Canberra with him on vocals, and then we did the one with Jesse where John switched over to doing drums. And like, that's just something where like I'd known John for quite a while at that point, and every time we kind of tried to tee something up and it never quite come together. But then we just got to do that, which was a lot of fun. And so it's really it's always nice to be able to have that. Someone that you've known for a long time in music, and then you get the opportunity to actually do something together, and it turns out really well.
Yeah, well, with us, it sort of was a bit like that. And then the first practice I think we ever had together, I just thought about, you know what? I'll fly down, let's just have a jam and see how it works out. And then walked away from going, oh, feels like we've been playing these songs together for ages.
And that's the feeling. That's
Yeah.
the feeling. That's when
Yeah.
you're like, Oh, okay, yeah. Now that kind of has to happen now, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, this works already. Let's make it happen.
That's
I
true,
mean,
So,
man.
so how do you guys find that having different members in different states works? Like you've obviously got a system for making it work, um,
Yeah.
What is
but
that
is that
system?
What is this? Let me. Well,
I
it's
I fly a lot.
yeah, it's easy to have one person come to the others, and all the others go to that guy, I guess. But
well, that's
yeah,
true.
no.
That's true.
Um,
Well,
it's
actually, you know what?
well,
Seen advertised on Facebook lately a
I saw.
platform that's advertising for musicians for remote jams.
Yeah, audio movers.
Yes,
Um,
they reckon it's
yeah,
this kind of streaming quality. Like,
Just
yeah.
we have used that, but not to jam.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but I have for the vocal sessions of the Smashing Pumpkins cover we put out. I remoted into Ollie's laptop with his interface and engineered
Oh wow.
his vocals, so controlled everything as far as the DAW was concerned,
Yeah, yeah.
and just played producer and swore at him when he'd say it wrong and praised him when he did the right thing.
Okay. And how did you
I
find
paid you, I
working
can
it
do
that
that.
way?
Yeah, it was actually great. So like, pull up a video feed as well. It was sort of like it was like being in the same room a little bit. Like there
Okay.
wasn't
Yeah.
any latency. I was getting perfect quality, and we've used it for other things as well, especially when we're writing samples or stuff like that, which can take a long time. You don't want to be bouncing it out every 5 seconds and sending it over the internet. We can all
Yeah.
log into the one session and be like, hey, just bounce ideas off each other.
That's
Mm,
amazing. That's really,
Well,
really cool.
but when it comes to jamming, it's you want to be in the same room. Like you,
It definitely helps.
like
100%.
It definitely helps.
We got
like
Dodger in the house, big industrial boys in the house.
Yeah,
Miss
Stoya.
seeing you guys.
Fucking
That's from
love
Stoya.
Stoya.
girls
Thank you for
go
tuning
out.
in again, mate. We really,
Thank you,
really
buddy.
appreciate the support, man. We
That's
got love for you.
awesome that like the capabilities now. It's almost getting to a stage now where you'll be able to live stream your practice sessions and your writing sessions on Twitch or something like that, or and have that ability no matter where you are in the world. Like the capability of super groups now, it'll just be a matter of reaching out to people, and you won't have to be sending out tracks all the time. You can sit there and work together. It's just the capabilities are endless, and
Yeah,
especially for
well,
the people that need to fly.
yeah. Well, I know that audio movers one, they've got one tool where you can essentially just send them something that they run on their computer, and then it all just goes real time at the DAW end.
Mm.
It's insane. We barely scratched the surface, but we're going to be
Yeah.
using it a lot more.
Well, that's it. And I mean, as as internet speed improves, it's something that's only going to become more available for more people.
Yeah,
So,
and we do accept sponsorship audio movers if you listen to this.
So do we.
yeah, absolutely. If anyone
Hit me.
from Audio Movers happens to catch this, and we will gladly run ads for you guys.
Yeah. DM me. Let's do it.
Hell, we'll even do a podcast off yous.
Yeah, you want to come on the podcast and talk all the techie shit about how
Yeah.
it makes it work. Cool. We'll pretend like we know what you're talking about. We'll pretend to understand your jargon.
That's it. You will have more chance than anyone, Raf.
Me off, mate. Only look like I know what I'm doing, and even
That's all
then,
it takes.
barely.
That's all it takes.
Like this is all a carefully crafted facade. This is so people think I have some kind of clue. Oh man.
No, I think it's
Alright.
funny you mentioned that because I know a lot of bands are doing that now, or forced to do that, I guess, over the last couple of years, and that's where it kind of took off. But we were kind of already on that train before that stuff happened because of the distance between us. So we'd started looking into the stuff and working that way, and then lo and behold, we had to do that for 2 years anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah, like I
I
went out
feel
and bought a webcam before the pandemic.
Oh,
Before they sold out.
when that was still cheap.
everywhere.
I've used it for writing before, like for writing sessions, right? So when you're kind of trying to hash out ideas and stuff. But yeah, in terms of like actually jamming together or trying to like play stuff together, it's not territory I've used before. So I'm keen to see how this technology develops over the next few years because that seems to be because I looked up that Audio Movers, and I think that's actually a different service to the one I've seen advertised. So
Oh,
Oh,
right.
another one.
there might even be multiple services
I mean, just getting
forming in
good.
that
If there's
space now.
competition,
And hopefully that's a really good sign, because I'd love to see that become more prevalent,
oh,
because it really does. It opens it up. It makes collaborating with people across the country and all over the world that much easier.
even
Like,
for
so-
like you think of it from a music teacher's point of view, it opens up whole new avenues for music teachers, like being
Yes.
able to do classes
Yep.
live.
Yep. Well, I know a lot of like vocal coaches do sort of online like video call stuff now, and that's I guess a little bit easier because like maybe vocally it's like not like you're playing fast licks on guitar and you need high frame rates to see what's happening with their fingers and clear stuff there. But I'm just there's so many opportunities and applications for that sort of technology, even beyond music. But if music can drive the development of that, then so be it.
Well, I was just gonna say I saw one that was clearly aimed, like completely aimed at mixers, where it's essentially a warehouse that they've put tons of rack gear in with robots that control all the knobs on it, and you essentially rent time on a piece of hardware for, let's say, an hour,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Wow.
and your audio goes out into the cloud where the robot changes the dials for you, and then it sends it back with all, because everyone's like, analog is better.
So you can use like all these super high value pieces of gear without
Yeah.
having to rent them or buy them into your physicals. That's nuts, man.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a couple of them out there, and I'm
That's
just like,
amazing. So now everyone's going to be using those fucking the vintage shit. Everyone's going to be
Yeah.
using that old school shit now.
but then you've also got the other thing where the technology's already caught up at home, so it's like it's
I don't-
insane.
After getting back into sort of mucking around and playing guitar and having a look into the digital space rather than the analog, it almost, especially now with the variety of tones and stuff you can get from a digital rack, why would you limit yourself just to one head?
Well, I mean,
I get
I
it. I get it for metal, like, because man, look, nothing's got to beat like your old PV head.
yeah, but
You
in
know-
saying that, I can't take that on the plane with me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this nice orange rock reverb I've got sitting over here has to stay in my studio because
Yeah.
it's too heavy to take on the plane. Plus, it's delicate.
Even if it wasn't too heavy to take on a plane, I was going to say your baggage handlers are going to do it in for sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I wouldn't.
And
But
that's why I have a quad cortex.
we all remember back in the day those red line 6 units, right?
Yeah,
We all
line
played-
6.
The
we all
pod
played
bean,
people
that
that
was
had
like a
them.
little bean, kidney
The
bean.
bean.
the
Kidney bean,
the red
yeah.
bean. We know we
Yeah.
all played shows where people were using that, and
Like, nah,
you
never.
know, now
Yeah, we all shat
yeah,
on it though. Yeah. Like
yeah,
that's
and
shit.
now line 6 is like at the fucking forefront of the space.
Mhm.
We all laughed at it back then.
Yeah, true.
Our last rehearsal, I took my backup rig, which is just a Line 6 HX Stomp, and we have a full in-ear rig. It sounded fantastic.
Mm.
I'm like,
Well, I've got
and
my
it's like this
studio
big.
space- Like I've
Yeah.
got line 6 Pod Go.
Yeah,
which is
that
gonna
sounds
do-
great too.
Yeah, like, and it's all the same. All the algorithms and stuff are the same as in like the Helix. It's just not as much physical features.
Yeah.
Basically, is where it's at. And I'm like, the sounds out of that thing are incredible. I mean, I've got a patch in there, and I can't even remember where I got it. It's labeled as Trivium, but I don't remember downloading a Trivium patch, and it's not one of the default ones. So I have no clue how it fucking got in there.
Ooh,
But like,
Gremlins.
I've got like a
Skynet.
nice, I got like a Gretsch baritone guitar, and I run the Gretsch through that fucking patch, and it is some of the best fucking sounding heavy guitars I've heard in my goddamn life. And I have to do fuck all. Like, I understand.
And
there's-
people still argue on the internet that that's the wrong digital modeler to have. You need to get the whatever's
Mate,
new.
Mate, I've been having people taking shots at my gear since day dot. All right, like I played back in the day, back in the very early days of Tensions Arise, when we had like a year where all we played was fucking Lewisham Hotel.
Yeah.
It was like once a month, every month at Lewisham Hotel for like a
Hotel
year. We fucking
X.
played, right? And that was it.
Shit.
There's one band we played with a couple of times there,
Induction
and
X. Induction.
like at the time I had an Ashton amp. So Ashton head, Ashton quad. Um, and literally, like, we played, I think it was the second show we played with this band, and one of the guys from the band, I saw him commenting on Facebook the day after the show. I was saying, oh, anyone who uses Ashton gear can't call themselves a real musician.
Whoa!
And,
Shots fired! Shots fired!
and I was in my, like, I was not giving a fuck at that point. So I was just like, I was like, still pretty new in the scene. I'm like, I don't give a fuck if people don't like me, whatever. I'll go out and do that. So I was like, I don't know if you noticed or not. I was using Ashton last night, mate. He's like, oh no, I didn't mean you. And I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure?
I meant the
You
other
don't mean
guys
me?
using it.
You sure you don't mean me? Because, like,
Because you
you
pretty
know,
much just woke up and just thought, you know what? Fuck Ashton. I choose violence.
but mind you, like, this was, and I get it. Like, Ashton is a certain tier of brand, and that's fine. But, like, this is a guy who, you know, had this idea in his head that you have to have, like, having good gear makes you good, and playing louder makes you good. And I just was like, well, so if gear, I'm like, okay, so you're gonna say people that play Ashton aren't not real musicians, like theory. So I'm taking from that argument that you assume you need to have good gear to consider yourself a real musician. How are you gonna look at people like Geezer Butler and Cliff Burton, who built their own amps, and say, you know, they're not using brand name stuff, so they're not real.
Not just that, he's obviously never dealt with a disgruntled sound engineer before.
And like, I'm just. I mean,
Because it
and
doesn't
look, I
matter
mean,
how good your gear is, if you have an angry sound engineer, he gonna make you sound bad.
That's true.
Or if you don't know how to dial it in.
Yeah, or if
But
he's
yeah.
shit.
And I mean, yeah, and
Doesn't matter.
basically the argument was, it doesn't matter what gear I've got as long as I get a good sound out of it, which is, it's just, that has to be the attitude, you know. And pulling a good sound out of your gear, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
All right,
Like,
everyone should have sound off in the comments and have a few fights over it. Come on, guys.
Yeah,
Start
done argument.
an argument.
Oh look,
I mean, people would hate us if they heard us jam. We're just
This is
we're in a room with in-ear monitors, and it just sounds like Ollie yelling not into a microphone while a drummer plays along.
Yeah, it would be
We're
so
the
weird to walk
that's what
past.
we got here.
Craziest trap band ever.
We do all of our
Crap.
rehearsals here for for both bands, and it's like it's all running through fucking headphones. So, and they, because it saves the neighbors, right? Like the neighbors don't get fucking pissed off with it. But
Yeah.
mind you, I mean, I don't really, I kind of have never respected the opinion of that particular musician because he's a bass player who can't stay on time, and everyone that meets him dislikes him. So,
Sure.
um,
Show me on this bass where he hurt you, Raf. No, but I think
On all of the
it's not my
bass.
bass that he hurts; it's my ears.
God damn it.
He's pointing at the input jack.
But what that cover we did, that Smashing Pumpkins one, that was the first time we really recorded a full song like remotely, I guess, no one in the same room at any one time. And yeah, Wade mixed it. We sent it off to it was Chris Blancato. He does like North Lane and stuff, so we got a good master on it. But everything else was in house and remote. Even the video we shot for it. When I flew up to Wade's, he put a green screen up in his garage, moved his truck out, and we shot a quick video.
Love that.
DIY styles.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
super.
talking about, mate. No excuses.
Oh yeah.
No
love
excuses.
that.
I love
So-
that shit.
Anyone can
All
make
right.
a video these days. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean it'll be a good video. I mean,
Yeah.
I think ours was at least a fair bit above average.
But,
Mate, I had a band on Beer Buddy probably a year and a half, 2 years ago now, and they were called Sarah Kills, and mate, they're this stoner trash psychedelic band. They were very punk psychedelic rock stoner. I don't know what the fuck. They were awesome, and they recorded everything off their phone, this video clip, and just edited the shit out of it and just made it work. And it was a smacking video clip. I love that shit. It was just dirty, grungy. It just matched them so well. There's no excuse not to do it these days.
Yep.
Your phone films in 4K. You can do something.
exactly. Your
Yeah.
phones can film in really high quality now. And yeah, okay, there's certain elements like depth of field that you maybe not getting with a phone that you would get with, DSLR cameras or with higher quality stuff. But for the most part, that's not that much of a worry.
People
only
love
need to
it.
get
I love
very
video clips on that
cinematic stuff.
MTV generation, man. I love sitting down and just watching video clips on YouTube.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
sit up with a few beers and just start going through video clips.
And just go into a rabbit hole.
Night sorted.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I mean, yeah, I think that was how I found Black Tongue.
Well, there you go.
I was just kind of going down the rabbit hole on YouTube with music videos, and Black Tongue in the Wake of the Wolf pops up, and I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds kind of cool. And I've, went and had a listen to it, and holy shit, I was blown away. So I love that. It's a nice tactic for killing an evening for sure.
Mm.
Let's go into the first segment, shall we?
Ooh.
Ooh, this is exciting.
Oh,
Segment
ready
time. I
First
am
segment time. You
ready
hit the
to
thing?
go. Let's go.
Lovely, hit it. There.
About you. We're back.
Awesome, love it. Go.
Quick.
Now we are at. I should have had the drink during the bit.
Yeah, you
instead
should
of,
have.
like,
We gave you a cutaway.
That's piss poor planning on my part. Right, so we are at the quick question quarter, spelt with Q's, not K's, because we don't roll like that. Basically, this is a bunch of rapid fire questions for our guests. They start easy, they get a little more involved as we go further on, so I hope you're prepared. The point of this segment is so that both us and our guests can get to know you a little better, know a little bit about what makes you tick musically. So without further ado, let's dive right in. What was the first instrument that you learned to play?
Bass.
Guitar.
Lovely. What was the first album that you ever purchased?
Not the Wiggles.
So not like the
Ooh.
ones that was bought for you, but like
It's all
Nirvana
But-
Unplugged.
Ooh, that's a good one.
yes.
That's solid. That's one we haven't had yet.
Yeah.
Damn. I think mine was like Michael Jackson Dangerous.
Another good one. That's
Ooh, okay.
That's
Good, good.
So good.
Look,
So
don't
good.
don't feel too bad, man. Mine was the history, Michael Jackson's history, like
Oh,
So-
yeah.
The double
fucking
CD.
collect-
That was the
double
big-
CD.
I
That's
had
just
the.
a better version of
And it
Dangerous,
had
anyway,
the
isn't
Michael Jackson as the the
Yeah.
the gold album, the gold CDs and stuff with it. Yeah.
solid.
That was
solid,
right. And there was like a quadruple tape version of it too. It was insane.
solid.
What was the first live concert you ever attended?
Tool at the Horden, 96.
Oh,
My dad took me to Offspring Ixnay on the Hombre tour at Festival Hall.
damn.
Oh hell yeah! Those are
And
some good
where
fucking-
the opening band was this unknown band called The Living End.
Oh,
My dad's
wow.
like, these guys might be big one day, I reckon.
Mm.
I
Nailed
think
it.
he was right. Yeah, nailed it.
God damn! Wow, there's some juicy picks there. I like that. Juicy ones. What's an instrument you've always wanted to learn but haven't had the opportunity yet?
Theremin.
Oh, that we've had that one
Yep.
before. That's
Yeah.
good.
It's a good pick.
Just so you can learn the Star Trek intro.
Oh, I would like to be able to play piano instead of hitting random keys with noises on it.
Yep. That's I mean, look, I say this every time this one comes up. The first instrument that I dabbled on my dad's guitar, but the first instrument I properly learned was piano. And let me tell you, it like everything I do musically now, in my head, I'm still picturing a piano. Like if you ask me to
Right.
find a note on a fucking guitar, in my head, I have to see a piano keyboard to figure out the note first and then find it on the guitar. I can't
Whoa.
just
Yeah.
go straight to that.
And that's how I write synths. So I think about where it would be on the guitar
Yeah.
and
So
move
learn it-
around until I find it. You know
Yeah,
that
so
they'll do.
learning piano is like, and honestly, getting the basics of it is actually pretty simple. So I think, you could probably pick that up really, really quickly if you went, even like YouTube tutorials. You find yourself a few YouTube tutorials and you'll be all over it, man. I reckon. But it's a really great instrument, and because you got the full range there, you can do your chords and your lead stuff together as well on the one thing. It's a very, very versatile instrument, and I think it really helps for a deeper understanding around music. Not that I'm like, oh, I learned piano first, so I'm some fucking musical genius. I'm just like the way it's full. I just say it because it's fully informed the way I think about and approach music. Like, it's informed every part of that. So, I think it's a really good instrument to learn there. If you could pick one big band or artist to open a show for, now we'll put some caveats on this, some rules around this, just so you know. So this is literally like defying the laws of time and space. Any band, active or not, living or dead, whatever era you would want from them, if you could pick one big band or artist to open a show for, who would it be?
Hmm.
So I'm torn between two, and they're kind of very related. My first thought is Mr. Bungle, but then I also was going to say Faith No More. You can see what the connection is there.
Yeah.
Um,
I say you can throw them into one.
yeah. I want to open for Mike Patton, basically. Yeah.
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 I
Man, you
think
guys
I'd
pick
pick.
Faith No More. That'd be crazy.
I think I'd pick like the fragile era Nine Inch Nails.
Ooh.
Half the reason just so I can dig into the nerdy stuff that they're doing with all the lighting and work out how they did it because it's mental.
That's very, very cool. I like those ones. Um, who is an artist or band you're listening to at the moment that you believe is seriously underrated?
Oh, let me check. Who did I have up the other day?
Um,
Everyone
well, for
does
me,
it.
I always think that people think that Dog Fashion Disco is underrated.
Oh,
'Cause
Dog Fashion Disco. Okay.
I love those guys. They're
Dog fashion.
every
disco.
every genre in one.
Love it. I love a bit of variety like that.
Yeah, they've got that Bungle vibe too, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. An artist I'm actually going to see next week called King Woman. It's kind of like I guess you'd call it like doom stonery kind of music, but then like spoken wordy kind of female fronted,
Ooh.
smoking a cigarette while dancing around. Yeah, check them out, King Woman. They're in. I'm going to Dark Mofo next week, by the way, so I'm going to
The
smash
kind
that
of stuff
festival.
that you need to be on a lot of red wine to enjoy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
Love that. Love that. What is something people may be surprised to learn about you?
Oh, I was thinking about this today actually.
I've
We're
never
So
getting
thought
in the
about
deep,
this
we're getting in
ever.
the deep water now, boys. This is like, I hope you're
I
ready.
well, two things that I was going to say. First of all, I helped my partner play Disney Dreamlight Valley on Xbox, and just before this podcast, actually, I went to a Pilates class. There you
Oh,
go.
Right,
look
well,
at
there you go.
you.
Well, you got to keep fit, right? Like
Yeah.
you're starting to, despite what it looks
Spot,
like,
the
starting
spot,
to
the
get up a little
swirling.
bit in
The
years, man.
spot or
Like,
the swirling.
Got to balance. Life's everything's about balance, isn't it,
It
guys?
is. It
Balance.
is.
Yeah.
is.
What about you, Wade?
This is a hard question.
Oh, they get harder. Trust me.
Yeah.
Surprise. Okay, that I work in IT.
Ooh,
Oh.
okay.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Love that.
I like to
So-
put. I want people to think I'm dumb, so they don't ask me to fix their computer.
The
What is
smartest
it with
IT man
fucking?
ever.
What is it with? Well, I was gonna say, what is it with studio people and being good with IT? But I guess you kind of being
Yeah.
good at IT helps with the studio stuff. So
There you
Well,
go.
It helps pay for the studio stuff.
So look, obviously you guys have been around for a little while. You've been in a few, in and out of a couple of different bands. What is the cringiest band name or song name that you've ever been involved with?
Oh, this one for me is easy.
Oh wow.
I used to be in a band with Jesse Drackman called Candy Pain,
Oh,
Oh.
and
what?
we had a song called
When was wait? When
Oh.
was this? I gotta ask Jesse about this shit when we eventually have him on. What did you Candy Pain?
Yep.
You can always Google the song "Dial 666 for Evil."
Wow.
Oh
Wow.
boys,
Oh,
I
boys.
didn't write the
Oh.
lyric. I just played
Oh,
some
Wow.
guitar riffs.
my spine just shuddered from all that cringe.
Oh,
Well,
I
it's
gotta
funny.
It, it was fun though. Wasn't very serious.
Oh
You
no,
guys,
I love it. I love it.
yeah, you guys opened for Anxiety Whispers. That's how long. That's how old that shit is. That's
Yeah.
old.
Oh god damn, okay. I've just seen a photo. That is amazing. I love it.
And I used to have hair. Oh, that could have been the other thing. People don't know about me. I used to actually have long hair.
Oh, I love that. Oh, there's like 3 songs there. I'm gonna have to listen to those a bit later. That's great. That's oh wait. Oh, I don't know if I can I listen to all of them? Oh, it
Just
might be the
I can send you
mine's
the
the whole album.
MP3s. I can send you the MP3s if you really want. I
Please,
think I have them
please,
somewhere.
We
On
should
the
listen.
download.
We should
You
listen to
don't
it.
want them.
We should listen
No,
to
no,
him
when
on
I-
the. We should listen to him on
Oh.
the birthday episode.
We'll do him a reaction. Yeah, we'll make a note. We'll fucking do it. Yeah. Dude, when we eventually have Jesse on, I need to be able to draw on some of this shit.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna pull that out for sure.
He,
Oh, that's great. That's great.
he's very
Okay,
secretive.
okay.
I don't think he'll want to talk about it. I mean, I didn't want to, but you sort of forced it out of me.
That's it.
All right, Ollie.
Oh,
Your turn.
the first thing that came to mind was I think it was back in AW days too. We had our first remix done for us, and we call it. It had nothing to do with the song. I forget what the song was actually called, but it was called Hectorbot 5000.
Whoa.
Hectic, bro, hectic.
Heck,
Love that.
heck,
You know what? I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that somewhere.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Old school.
That's great. That's great. Okay, now this is always a question that causes a few people to get upset. What is your most controversial musical opinion?
Okay.
And I promise the next question, which is the last one, is a little bit gentler than this. This is the
Last one's
the hardest.
nice.
Okay,
one's
but I
really
guess my most controversial opinion is probably goes against everything I stand for. But that the record companies made it so not everyone could be a musician, so therefore generally the releases were high quality.
Ooh.
And the reason why I say this is because I think there are some young bands out there who, before they're trying to release something, they need to just jam together for longer. Because I find that like a release will come out way before they've played a show, and it might be their first ever band. And it's like, spend some time working on yourself before you show anyone.
So you're kind
know
of
what?
saying that the accessibility and has created a proliferation of there's just a flood of not that good shit.
Well, like
Yeah.
for example, I could get a microphone, shove it up my ass, run up and down my stairway
I've got this one.
while recording it, and then put a little bit of a vocal line over it, and it could be on Spotify tomorrow.
It's like that Drake album I reviewed.
Yeah. Well, it's just the case where anyone could put anything on the streaming
there's,
platforms. You need to sort of.
There's actually
Yeah.
a Spotify. There's actually a website dedicated to finding Spotify songs that have 0 plays.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And it's just
And I'm
like,
like, I kind of want to go on that. Maybe we should do that next week on the stream.
Yeah.
Find Spotify songs
That's
that have
mad.
0 plays.
But the
Because,
thing
like,
is, you ruin that straight away. When you listen to it, it gets one play, and then that's never
Yeah.
going to be on
Mate,
that list
that's what we
anymore.
could
Yeah,
do.
exactly,
With
that's the
that, it
point.
doesn't deserve to be.
on a list.
Yes.
That's the point. But no,
We could
you know
fix
what?
that.
I'm
I-
not trying to say in the way of disparaging young bands. Like, go out there,
No,
work
I get what
together,
you mean.
work hard on it. But like, sometimes
100% get what you mean.
you do need to be like, okay, look, I'm not like ready to put this EP out that sounds like 4 of us are playing different songs on the one song.
Yeah. Well, I've got a similar thing that a similar thought that's kind of been that I've noticed since moving up to Brisbane and sort of getting out there with Skunkbone and playing with and it's mainly in the rock space with Skunkbone, less in the metal space with Nuclear Vision. I'm finding that a lot of because I mean I'm playing with bands that have members that have been alive for less time than I've been playing music, which first of all I'm like, ow. But second of all, like some of these bands, they're like, they're like 18, 19, 20, but then they're getting up there and playing like a 40-minute set and half of it's covers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't mind if you have a cover in your set. I really don't. We play covers in our sets. That's fine. Like, I dig it. But I really think if you're trying to get out there and make a name for yourself, write enough material first. Like,
Have
Yeah,
a
like just
30-minute
let
set.
it cook a bit. Let it cook a bit
Yeah,
longer first.
exactly. Like, everyone's excited to get out there and play shows. I get that. You want to do that. You want to get out there and play shows. You want to get in front of people. That's the funnest part.
But I think the other thing is back in the
Have
day,
the material.
there were more places for all ages gigs. So the sort of people that you're talking about who would be in a bar probably playing, right? They would have already gone out, been able to play all ages gigs that would be down like PCYC,
Yes.
like very much like a not playing for drunks who are going to throw bottles at them, like just a place to learn.
Yeah,
Um,
had that chance to hone their craft a little bit and get out there
yeah,
before
and
You got to
before
bust
I
your
guess
chop.
graduating to put it in
I'm
words.
not even saying we've even graduated, but I'm just saying, like, it's just,
No, no, I get what you're
it's just
saying.
put
It's just
the,
it's so easy for them just to go pump out music rather than go and play shows now and bust your chops and play the shit shows and figure out whether you want to be in a band with these people. Where you're sitting in a playing at a live show with four or five other people is a completely different dynamic than writing a bunch of songs, doing all your parts separately, and practicing in a room looking at each other. When you're standing on a stage and you're all looking out, and you've got to rely on the trust of the four people around you to make sure you hit all those parts and nail all those parts properly. It's a completely different dynamic. And
but like,
you
I
see
think the
bands
other
have
thing,
shit shows and they're like, no, we're never playing again. And you see a band break up after one shit show.
yeah, and it's like, well, you know what, if you spend a bit more time, I guess, finding your sound before you put it out there,
Mm.
then you already have your sound. So then you don't have to sort of road test everything because you've got your sound.
Mm,
But you have
Yeah,
to find that sound.
yeah.
yeah, definitely. All right, Ollie.
Yeah, I had an idea or two, but then something you just said then took me to another place, and it's back
Okay.
to um the whole covers band thing. Now I know, and I don't mean that in a way like, oh, you've been in covers bands. We've got lots of friends who are in really awesome cover bands. That's cool, but I guess it's that next level when you're seeing like, the Oasis tribute or the Blurred, or one of these, or something coming out internationally, coming here to play, like, and they're taking the big gigs at the Metro, and people are coming out in thousands, but 10 people won't come to a bloody local show. You know what I mean? When it's like, I guess it's the rise of the tribute or cover band displacing original uh, working bands.
But I
Um,
guess in a way, the other one could have sort of caused that. People stop. People will stop going to local shows if every time they go to a local show, two of the bands they haven't worked out their sound and haven't worked out how to play live yet,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and then beer costs $20 a beer.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that maybe I'm not even talking about the bands. It's people I'm talking about. Well,
Yeah,
numbers
you are.
speak. Well, that's the thing, is that these cover bands are pulling more people than a local band. You know what I mean? Than an original band, and that obviously the venues are going to put in what brings the heads through the door.
Yeah.
So obviously my thing is not against the bands, the cover bands. I guess it's the culture that's happening at the moment. That
See, that gives me another idea. I remember. Okay, so back.
how much
Sorry,
do
we're
you
going on
hate?
tangents. We're going on tangents.
Well, hang on,
Well,
hang
I
on.
remember,
Hang on.
Let's be careful here. Let's be careful here because we do still have the fuck off files to get to. This
Yeah.
is
okay, all right.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
All
fuck
yeah,
off,
right,
yeah. We
Kyle.
still got
don't
another
tell me that
segment to
stuff
let you
because
guys
this
let
was purely
fly.
just. I'm starting to think we might have to take this question out because it starts to develop into a fuck off
Yeah,
files
it
before we get
does.
Oh, does this happen a lot? Does it?
It
maybe
does.
very regularly, almost every week. So we might have to change that question. Anyway, last question in the quick question quarter for you guys, and this is a nice wholesome question just to round these ones out. If you could give your younger self one piece of music related advice, what would it be?
Don't sign that deal. No, I
Whoa.
don't. Yeah, I
don't.
guess. Yeah, go wait.
I would say, don't date that chick who hated it when you spent too much time with your guitar.
Oh,
Ooh,
right.
interesting.
Right. Oh my
Mm,
god. Like, okay, story on that. I around the time Tensions Arise was starting out, around about the time we actually were first starting to play shows, rather, I should say. I started dating this girl, and I was living in like Western Sydney, and she was kind of in North Sydney, so it was a bit of a trek back and forth, thing, to see each other. But Tensions Arise had regular rehearsals, like same day, same time, every single week. That was part of our thing, right? I'm like, that's in my schedule. That's when I have rehearsal. Now, to add to this, and this is actually a funny story that this ties back because I mentioned I saw you guys at Manning Bar. We were handing out flyers for that first Tensions Arise show at at Manning Bar, right?
Oh, right. Okay, that's the connection
And
there. All right. Yeah.
and I, we were leaving the show. I was going downstairs, and the as I was getting to the bottom of the stairs, security guard fucking points at me and is like, "You," and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like I know I hadn't done anything,
Yeah.
But I'm like, some other fat dude with a mohawk's done some shit, and it's gonna get pinned on me somehow, right? So he comes up to me, and I kind of notice as he's walking up to me, there's some girl is like running away, like running out of the fucking main door at the bottom of the stairs there, right? He's like, you. And I'm like, what? And he's like, that girl wanted me to give you this. And it was her fucking number. So we've quickly like run after this girl because she was there with her friend, and we're like, oh hey, like this thing, gave him flyers for the show, whatever. Like, so literally first time I spoke to this girl, like she knows I'm in a band, right? And so we kind of start talking, we start seeing each other, whatever. It goes on for a few months, and then we were having a disagreement about something, and this was still back in the MSN Messenger days,
Ooh.
and I was like, all right, look, I we'll have to finish talking about this later. I got to go to band practice. And she's like, no, we're going to talk about it now. And I'm like, I have band practice. I have to go. Like, if I don't go now, I'm going to be late. And she's like, oh, well, it's me or the band. And I'm like,
See ya.
who do you fucking think you are? Like,
Raph has left the conversation.
I was just like,
Blocked.
yeah, literally, I was just like, all right, then it's the band. Bye, and logged off. Like,
Yeah.
That girlfriend that fucking, I've been by that point, we've been working on Tensions Arise stuff for like 2 years. We're really finally getting some rhythm. It's leading up to the show. And, I've known this girl for like all of 3 months.
Yeah.
And she's like
You
trying to be
should have
more
quit the
important than
band. She was right, man.
And I'm not, and I'm not like, this isn't like girls don't get stuff. It's like this particular girl, this particular person had this fucking attitude. And I'm just like, what the fuck is your thing? So yeah, like, trust me, I know fucking,
Yeah.
I know about
It's
girlfriends
one of
not
those,
like
it's
you
one of
being
those
in a
things,
band.
you should support someone's hobbies.
Yeah.
The end.
100%.
End of
And
discussion.
it's not even like we started talking and then she found out I was in a band. It's like, oh hey, I'm in a
Yeah.
band. It was like, here's our shit. That was like the first fucking sentence I
Yeah.
said to this girl.
And that's the thing. It's like I don't understand some people that get involved with people and they know that's like a huge part of their life, and then they get like that about it. It's like, dude, you knew what you were getting into. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, technically, the music was here before you, and it's probably going to be
I've-
here after I
I've
kick
said
your
to
ass to the curb.
I've had to say to partners, I'm like, like, because if I'm not in a band, it's different. If I'm not in a band at the time, it's kind of different. But when I'm in a band, I have to be like, okay, I need you to understand how it is at a gig.
Yeah.
Because I can't, like, if it's a gig I'm playing, like, I don't have the opportunity, the time to like sit with you the whole time. Like, I have
Yeah.
shit to do. This is like work in a way to me. So, and I like to treat it appropriately.
Yeah, of course.
I have people are relying on me to do shit. The band's relying on me to do shit. The venue's relying on me to do shit. The fans are here to see me do the thing. I have to make sure I can do the thing. I have to be focused on that. That's the reason I'm here. It'd be like you coming into my off. If I went to their office and I expected them to just hang out with me the whole time there. And
You
so I
should
have to like
try that. You should actually give that a go.
preface it. I have to preface. I find myself prefacing it now by if it's just by going, hey, look, I need you to understand that if you're coming to a gig with me that I'm playing, like, I'm gonna be all over the fucking place. And plus, like, I get antsy at a gig that I'm playing. Ollie, you know this. You've played enough gigs with me. You've seen how I'll be like running around, constantly checking stuff. I'll check the gear, and then 30 minutes later, we're back checking the gear again. And I'm like,
Yep.
I think that, thankfully, one thing about being a bit older is that no longer becomes a situation because the person is also a bit older.
yeah, people chill out a bit. People chill
They're
out a
like,
bit.
oh, this actually makes sense. Actually, get out of my hair.
Yeah.
That's what my
Go
wife did.
play your gig.
That's what she's
See
like.
you.
She came first couple times, like, you playing anything new? I'm like, no. She's like, well, I've seen you set like 40,000 times. Go.
Yeah, why should I watch
Why do
you
I
set
need to
that?
go?
And I say that too. I'm like, anytime I'm saying something, I'm like, I don't expect you to come to every show that I'm playing. Like, it's partners and music are very weird, especially when you're in your 20s. It's
My best piece of advice to any young man out there as soon as they say that shit, it's me or the band, it's the band. Like, you go to the band. You see ya. Like, peace out.
Well, because the next thing will be, look, it's your family or me,
Yeah.
your job or me.
Yeah. It starts small, like your band.
Yep.
That's really not that small. It's massive.
Yeah.
So, it's
Especially
just-
like our band is huge. Like,
So if there's any young musicians happen to be watching this, just have respect for yourself and your bandmates, and for the person that you're seeing. And if they start to be unhappy about the fact that you're doing band stuff, especially when you've been involved doing music stuff before they came into the picture.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying just immediately go out and dump them. I'm saying
No.
have that conversation.
I am.
Yeah.
Unless
Try
unless they unless they make your toes touch your shins. No.
and look, the conversation may not go well. I'm not saying it would, but just talk to them about it and be like, this is my
It's going to go terrible.
passion. I love doing this. This is, don't put up with that sort of disrespect. Basically, is what I'm saying.
Respect each other's passions.
Because that's right.
Yes, definitely.
Because if you
Ollie, what would you say to your
I made it.
little Ollie if you could?
Yeah, it was a joke, but it was true. I would probably give some business advice. I guess you maybe don't rush into signing something that you that.
Okay,
you know,
so that was the
yeah,
actual
that was
thing.
legit. That was legit.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So some good advice there. Good tips for people, I think.
good
'Cause,
answers.
we originally didn't have this question in there. I kind of thought about it a couple of months ago. I'm like, this would be really cool to add in there, I think, because I think it's a good opportunity for especially people that, when we have people on that have been doing it for a while, to, if there is young people watching, maybe the advice helps them out, and I think that's really important because, we do music because we have fun doing music, but I think that the second reason that we do music is we would like to think maybe that we can, if we inspire someone else to go out there and start a band, then and do music and follow that passion, then fucking great. We can continue that cycle because we were all inspired by somebody.
Yep.
And not just that, you should look to your elders and learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
That's
And
all
we
they're good
have
for.
heaps.
That's all your elders are good for. They survived. Learn from their mistakes.
Rightio. And when you're ready, Kyle, let's please hit the next thing.
Ooh, here we go.
Oh, let's do it. Let's mute this so it's not, and it's all sounding good. Let's go. Fuck off, files. Back.
We're back. All right.
This
Now,
is my favorite.
mentioned it earlier. This is a lot of people's favorite segment. So this is the Fuck Off Files,
It's the best.
where we ask our esteemed guests if you could collect all the Infinity Stones like Thanos and just snap shit in and out of existence, what would you fuck off out of the music industry? We got the two of you, so we'll get two from each of you. Who wants to go first with what would you fuck off out of the music industry?
And it can be
why?
anything.
Give us a nice why. It can be anything, big or small.
Punters, venues, anything.
I would fuck the current beer prices and poker machines and venues out of the industry.
Oh,
That's where Crowbar nailed it on the head. You all done real good work by getting rid of all the pokies out of there.
Yes, absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, people will go to less shows if it's going to cost them $200 in beer for the night, whereas Netflix costs them 20, and people are lazy.
And a case costs you 60.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's always hard when a venue takes up space for things like that, and from a business perspective, you understand why, but it's
It's not
kinda-
their fault. Not their
No,
fault.
it's
No.
the way the laws have been set up, it encourages it.
Yeah.
It encourages it. I think if the government was to say, hey, if you're putting on, live music, we'll give you like subsidies for that, rather than letting them keep all this money from, venues getting all this money out of pokies, I think you would potentially see more venue opportunities becoming available. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, we know very well that pretty much no part of the government at any level or any side of the spectrum really has that much support or respect for live music, and especially alternative live music.
No.
Well, if you think about back in the day, the ABC used to have Recovery, which was a
Yeah.
show that was all about Australian live music,
Mm.
and now there's none of that. On top of that, places that bands used to play are now filled with, the tradies laptop.
Mm.
the tradies laptop. I haven't heard that one.
You've not heard that before?
Nah, that's nice.
Ah, that's a classic. That's been around for a while.
And Hazard Halo says it's even worse if you prefer spirits. It is.
Yes.
It
Like,
is.
the beer tax is unreal.
It is.
So come on.
I mean, like in all seriousness, though, you'd think governments and shit would work out. You'd be able to sell twice the amount at venues if you weren't taking so much tax.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did. There was a news article saying basically that I think it might have been in the US though, but the same idea that the venues are struggling because they're not selling as much beer because people are generally showing up after preloading at home.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
You know, either that or they're like, doing whatever else they can get their hands on because, you go out on a night on the piss. It's expensive.
It is.
Especially if you drink like us.
Ooh,
You can,
yeah.
you can tell this climate's really affected Wade. Like look at him go. There he is, beer down.
No, it's it.
And you know what's
Hey,
even
we're
worse?
a thirsty
is that-
bunch, us metalheads.
That's
Yeah.
What's even worse? It means that they're not giving us as much good stuff in the riders anymore too.
No.
Hey, that's true. Oh, they're getting smaller and smaller.
Jeez.
Although I will say, I mean, there's some venues we played up here that are pretty decent riders. They give you a fridge, like
Yeah.
a fridge full of, young Henrys or something, which is
Fridge full
maybe
of
not the
Kennies.
greatest, maybe not the greatest stuff, but it gives you something.
I love young Henrys. Big
Yeah,
young
no,
Henrys
yeah.
delivery.
I like it.
It's
well.
good.
The
Yeah, it really does
IPA is
depend on the venue.
sensational.
Yeah, some venues treat you
Alright.
really well, but yeah.
So that's one.
Who's next?
So my one's probably something that's been around forever in the industry, but I would fuck off fucking sleazy snake oil salesmen in the music industry. Try and tell you they'll give you the world, and just take your money and run.
Too many of them.
Yep.
And it always seems to be the way. We were talking about younger bands before. You said read the contract before you sign it. That's essential, guys. Like,
Yeah.
and if it's if you're signing a contract for something big, and they put it in front of you and it's a single A4 page, that's not a very good contract.
Yep.
Means they
Right.
own you.
Get your shit, get your legal advice,
Yeah.
get people to have a look at it. Even if they're not fucking like legal experts, just get someone who's been around a bit longer to have a look at it.
If the
you know
deal
some
sounds
people,
too
old
good to be
bands, reach
true,
out
it's
to 'em.
because it
Hell,
fucking is.
Reach out to us. If you don't have anyone else to reach out to
Yeah,
us.
we'll
We're
look
not
over it.
legal experts by any means, but we've been around for a little
Yeah.
while and we've seen some shit.
Or we
Pro
might know
bono.
some
Might be
people. We
able
might
to-
know some people that can help.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to see anyone getting caught in dodgy fucking deals. Although, something that I have noticed is like the younger kids coming up now, and people on this fucking podcast are sick of me saying it because I say it every 2 or 3 weeks, I reckon, at this point. But like the younger bands that we're playing with, so many of them have a better understanding of the business than we ever had at the same age, which is a factor of the internet and that stuff being more available. But they know way more about the music business than we ever did.
Yeah, we couldn't just fucking YouTube a video on it or find
No.
out.
Spend 2 hours just going on rabbit holes on finding out how you get ripped off in the music industry from people that it's happened to do in the past.
So I think hopefully that's a good thing, and it'll mean people are a bit more informed and can avoid some of the pitfalls that we had to deal with. Because
Yeah.
tell you what, I don't like seeing anyone get screwed out of shit, especially when they're very very promising young band.
If I was
I
good
think-
enough to get a contract waving in front of me, you'd be hearing my story about how I got ripped off.
That being
that's
said, there is some good people out there. It's
Oh,
not they're not all
100%.
like that. But there
you just
is-
have to be careful about what you're getting involved with. And
Yeah. And traditionally there's been a lot of them and they're still there. But yeah.
But that's something like it's like I say. I mean, there's the talent that's coming up right now in rock and metal in Australia is insane, and we've been around long enough to kind of see I don't want to say the fall of alternative music in Australia, but it's become kind of gone through some dire times. And I think it's on the upswing again. I think it's
Yeah,
just
I-
gonna come
I-
back
big
to the
way.
upswing.
I think we're still missing that all ages festival.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. I
'Cause,
agree.
I mean, I remember, I guess when I was younger, they would, councils would put them on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, there's a group, there's people up here doing it. I mean, I don't know, Wade, if you're familiar with Schema Collective.
Yeah, I have
Um,
seen some of them.
Yeah, the boys
yeah.
in Regular Gonzalez trying to do that. That's some really good work they're doing. So
Well,
I would
can
love
that
to
be my
see some
second
more.
one? I would like to fuck off all the barriers in place that make putting on all ages shows so hard.
Yeah.
I know all the promoters I've swung to is like the insurances, the location, the venues. There's just so many things in the way of being able to do that. And they just don't do them. And like
Mm.
Wade said, then surely you would agree. Like we grew up going to that stuff. I was
Yeah.
going to all ages shows from the get go, whether it be someone at the PCYC down the road or
Mhm.
like a mini festival like Grounded, or there used to be something every other weekend. There was something like that, and
Like
that's
Absolutely.
when I was 13, I used to go with a friend of mine to the PCYC and see. It was literally just like four young teenagers doing covers, but they were gods to me when I was 13. I was like, wow, he's the best guitarist I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Obviously, he wasn't, but at that point, it inspired me to go pick up a guitar.
And that's what matters, right? That's what matters. It got you playing up, it got you playing guitar, it got you out there, it got you stoked that fire and that interest in.
Well, it makes it look possible as opposed to like,
Yeah.
like you can be into all the bands you want, but you see them on TV or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're like, oh yeah, I'll never be able to do that. And then
Yeah.
Everyone's
You feel-
seeing god tier musicians on YouTube all the time, and they're just getting automatically inadequate, and they just sit there and watch instead of just going, "I'm going to give that a go."
Well, speaking of that, that was actually the next thing I want to fuck off from music.
Ooh,
All right, all
nice
right,
little
here we go.
segue.
Nicely join there. Yep, go on.
I don't like the way that essentially like musicians who get popular now aren't necessarily because of the songs they write in their bands. It's because they have YouTube channels where they're reviewing gear. They're putting together little 60-second could almost be a song if they worked on it, but it's like, oh, we've got two riffs and here's me soloing over it, and like really impressive. But it's like they're getting, guitar deals, etc., brand
So-
deals, and make an absolute like living off it. But it's like, what happened to writing a song?
Wade.
Mm.
Are you hating on Rob Scallon right now? Is that what's happening?
All of them. In saying that, I do play solo guitars, and thank you, Ola England. I really like them. But in saying that, I love The Haunted, so I have an excuse.
yeah.
But it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, Jared Dines, yes,
Yeah.
he's awesome. But people used to be known because of their music, not necessarily their videos
that's
of
it, I guess
music-related
that's-
videos.
But then sometimes when you see some of these superstars and you catch them in a room in an interview, you're just like, oh, okay, maybe just stick to the music and not making videos.
I guess that's something again that we've talked about ad nauseum on the podcast, is the need now to essentially be a content creator rather than just a being, unfortunately, the way the industry's changed, being a good musician or a good band. And while being a good band was never enough on its own to necessarily be able to make it, the requirements that are incumbent upon bands nowadays to have to be content creators and social media managers and all of that shit does mean that it's even less of a meritocracy than it used to be. Because we know it's never been a meritocracy. So for a long time, it's always been like who you know and who's willing to vouch for you and sort of, and that's always been a big factor in it. But even these days, even less than it used to be. The idea of it being a meritocracy is just, it's a dream. It's a fucking barely a memory of a dream at this point.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was impressed at first with all the YouTube guitarists, and then after a while, I'm like, okay, yeah, they're sweet picking again, and it's awesome. I love it. But it's like, what happened to go? Oh, that band's good because they write really good songs.
Yeah.
Once again,
But then,
not saying it should be us, even though it should. But come on.
And I think as well, that also leads into discussions around another problem that's commonplace. It's become again more common since social media has come into being. But the idea of these parasocial relationships, where people will watch a YouTuber and comment on a lot of their stuff and maybe interact with them a little bit on Twitter, and then think that they know this person. They'll think that they're best friends with this person. And it's like, no, you know the public persona that they put out there. And you don't know them personally.
you haven't caught them on a fucking bad day.
And I think to a certain extent, a lot of us have fallen into these traps at different points in our lives, since social media has become more prevalent as well. But it's a it's this territory of like, okay, yep, social media in theory is great, but the long term social change that it's caused can be argued to be less of a positive thing.
Yeah, it just reduces attention spans.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing, because I work in retail. And we always talked about back in the day. It was like the rule of seven or something like that. Yeah, if you saw an ad in the paper or on TV, about 7 times, then that's in you then, and then you're going to probably buy that brand or something. You know what I mean? Or with that kind of milk when you go out. But now it's the rule of like 32. Like you've got to see it on your story twice, your Insta 4 times, your Facebook 7. Then you've got to have someone share it 4 times, and then finally it's in there. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's in
yeah.
their algorithm, so they'll start sharing it more.
Because you're bombarded with you're bombarded with
yeah.
so much
And
at all
you're
times.
just scrolling through it all. It's very, very, and you're briefly seeing something. So you need to see it 32 times briefly, and then it becomes one genuine view, one genuine mental
yeah.
view.
But that's when it comes down to like that whole subliminal messaging thing that Coca-Cola got in trouble for back in the day. So what Coca-Cola used to have was in films, they used to actually pay to have some. I'm pretty sure this is. I don't know if this is conspiracy theory or whatever, but I'm pretty sure this was all figured out as fact. That big companies like Coca-Cola were paying to get their logos put in 1 or 2 frames in a movie. So do you remember Fight Club?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you-
With the big
How
top.
he slices his dick into
You know, remember how he splices dicks in the movie?
yeah.
It used to be a thing where companies used to pay to have their logos spliced into films. So while you're watching it, you see it so many times in a movie, you wouldn't even notice.
Yeah, now they just do it more overtly with product placement.
Well, now you're doing it. You're doing it without you knowing it by sitting there
Yeah.
just fucking scrolling.
Yeah.
Your eyes are seeing everything. Your eyes are capable of seeing so
But that's-
much.
But like, what like Apple wants to have their phones, everyone in movie and TV use their phones, but only if they're good guys. Like
Yep.
the rule is if Apple's paying to have their products in there, the bad guy can't use an Apple phone.
Yep.
And now that you know that,
You'll
will
see
not
it
be able
every
to
time.
unsee it.
You'll notice it. Yeah, yeah.
Look at if it's a film and you don't know who the bad guy is, who is not using an Apple phone? That's
Check
gonna
out
be
their
number
mobile.
one.
Yeah.
That's gonna be number one thing. But like, yeah, it's all getting crazy and everything's fucking capitalism's ruined everything as we kind of
It has.
as we kind of expect to.
It
This
has.
is a very left wing podcast, guys. Don't get me wrong. This is like fucking, burn it all fucking down, eat the rich, that whole shit. Seriously though, we eat one, the rest of them will fall in line. Like,
Or they'll leave.
or they'll finally all fuck off to space, and we can try and start.
Yeah, I'm on the Android side. Hazard Halo. What up? What is it? The green
Alright.
blue bubble all the way, or is it green
Yeah,
bubble? I don't even know.
This
I
is brought
cannot
to you
believe
by Samsung.
I cannot believe that people want to fucking still get upset and be like, oh no, I'm gonna like the amount of people that still get their fucking knickers in a knot over someone doesn't use Android phones, and apparently this must be more of an American thing than anywhere else because like I don't know anyone in person in Australia who has ever actually had an issue with that.
No.
It must be this weird like shallow American thing.
Yeah. Or it's just
That-
or it's just a thing that iPhone users just don't talk about, but they're secretly all haters.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no secrets about it. They're
Quite
over it.
clearly, all Android users here.
So that's
Yeah.
kind of that's pretty much all the official stuff that we've got in line for the podcast. I wanted to ask though, Ollie. I wanted to ask you because we've talked about it a little bit briefly over the years and blah blah blah. But I wanted to ask you: is there any story? So those of you who have been fans of Our Last Enemy for a while, you may know that some time ago they flew over to the good old US of A and recorded some songs. Now, I'm sure you've told endless stories about your time over there. What I want to know is there any stories that you haven't told yet? Or that maybe that you haven't told 1,000 times already that you can give us today? Because it's like, it's getting, the statute of limitations is gone. Like, you're probably all right for some of your crazier stuff that you maybe haven't been okay to talk about. But I just want to know, is there any kind of fun, crazy stories that you maybe haven't talked about with 1,000 people already that you might want to share?
Well, you did say, yeah, We can say what we want on here, can't we?
Yeah,
Within
man.
You
reason.
absolutely can.
Yeah. We could talk about
If
stuff
you're
that we
if
can't
you're if you're
necessarily
under
do
18,
on
go
screen.
gin
Yeah.
away,
Yeah, you
gin
can.
away
You,
and
oh,
if you're
yeah,
under
you
18.
can. You can explain if you were riding the ski slopes of Colombia, or
You can tell us
stuff like
whatever you
that.
fucking want, man. Like we're all fine with that.
One.
It's like it's after 10 p.m. now. Like
Oh,
you're fine.
good. All right. Sweet. All right. Well, the funniest one was one that I remember. I think it was the first week we were there, and we were staying at Christian Old was from Fear Factory. We were all staying at his house basically. Put us up for ended up staying there for like 3 months. Some of us went home earlier. Um, so obviously we had to go and buy like groceries and stuff, and some supplies and toilet paper. So we didn't just use all his bog roll. So they were taking. This is a while ago now. This is before we had Costco, which we have now. But this was back before we had that in Australia, and I didn't know what that was. As we're all aware now, it's like a bulk buying thing. Everything's really big. So we're driving on the way there, and our assistant, we had someone who would like drive us around and help us out. She's like passes to me in the car and goes, "You want to hit on this?" So I'm like, "Yeah, man, I dabble." So I smoked some weed in the car, and then I get to Costco, and by this time I'm high as shit, and I'm just like getting that weird vibe. And I walk in, and everything is really big. Even the shopping trolleys are like this,
Yeah, they're
and I'm
huge.
like, I was like Alice in Wonderland. I've taken the shrinking pills, you know what I mean? I was like, oh
yes.
my god, look how big the milk is. I just tripped out and ended up buying like steaks that were like never gonna fit in his freezer. So
Oh, that's amazing.
it was just a real spin out, and it was just all lined up. And that night there was an earthquake too, like a tremor.
Oh
And
shit.
because they get them all the time over there, they're on the fault line. So
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
that.
Wasn't that the Cypress Hill weed you were given? I think I remember
oh,
you telling me that one.
Oh, really?
that was so
Oh.
the studio where we retract the drums was owned by Raymond Herrera, the ex drummer from Fear Factory, and the Cypress Hill guys. They co-owned it. And like
Oh.
you walk in and there's the cool little green room where the PlayStation and everything was, and then there's literally a bong that goes above your waist, almost up to your chest. You know,
Oh,
like a
man.
didgeridoo size one. I'm like, come on, it's Cypress Hill. You're like,
Oh, I want a photo with it.
yeah.
A photo with this. Did
Billy Bob Thornton.
Did Beaver sit here? Did Sandog sing
Well-
this? Oh, I want a photo with that. We get a photo with that.
Speaking of be real, so I'm sitting there in that room and I've turned on the PlayStation. It was already on, a little unbeknownst to me, and they're playing the it was like NBA 2 whatever year it was, and I'm having a game and I really shit at it and I lost, and then I look up and they go, "Oh, dude, you signed in as be real," and I'm like, "Oh my god, I've just fucked his stats." Oh my god. So be real,
Dude.
sorry if you
Oh,
play your NBA stats on.
and then come on the
PlayStation.
podcast.
Man, you know what? It was so trippy though. Like when I was over there recently, like you walk around the towns, especially in the states where weed is legal now
Yeah.
for recreational use, and you just smell it fucking everywhere.
Mm.
Like you walking around New York or fucking LA, it's everywhere. Vegas, everywhere. Like it's just fucking there, and I'll tell you what, it was a weird experience walking into a shop and being like, yeah, I want to buy some weed or want to buy some edibles or whatever,
And it
Because
should
it's
be
still-
legal here.
It should be. It
should
100% should be.
I mean, with they do medical now, but that's quite expensive.
Yeah, that's different. That's
And
different.
it's
But,
not-
like,
it's
I don't
not-
even smoke anymore, but I'm like, it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I was in New York and it literally, I mean, so New York and LA was very different experiences, but that could also be the fact that where I was staying in LA was not a very good area. I was staying in Inglewood because I went over
Right.
for WrestleMania and that's where it was, and I was trying to stay as close as possible to the stadium. But like New York, it was literally just like a tobacconist. Just fucking walk in. Yep, I'd like that, please. All right, cool. That's $20. Like it felt so fucking bizarre, and I just put it in my bag and walking down the street with like edibles in my bag, and I had to consciously be like, the cops are not gonna fucking like. It doesn't matter if the cops stop you. It's
Yeah.
100% legal.
Oh.
Like
That would still be in the back of my mind too. Yeah, it's
Yeah. 'Cause
After I
it's
got
just
over the
like-
whole crying bit, because I was in a place where it was completely legal and you can just do that. Be like, man, why are you crying? He says, you don't get it. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, that was like when I went to Amsterdam. That was just weird.
Well, because I mean, what in Amsterdam you can't smoke tobacco inside, but you can't smoke weed outside or something.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like that's apparently a lot of tourists get caught in Amsterdam because it's a lot stronger than they're expecting, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I got there and my idea to beat jet lag was just get up when it gets dark, having no idea that in summer it gets dark over there at 11 p.m. and it totally would have fucked my sleeping pattern.
Yeah.
So I went, I've got a solution for this. There's something I can buy here that will send me straight to sleep. Getting
Man.
back to the hotel with 10,000 bicycles coming past was really hard.
Oh, the bells.
Man, let me tell you as well.
Oh.
Like when I got some, like I got these fucking edibles, and I said to the guy when I went into the shop, I'm like, okay, I said I'm from Australia, so I don't smoke much. I got a very low tolerance. What edibles have you got that are going to be good for me with like a low tolerance? And he goes, oh yeah, these ones will be good. These ones will be fine. Fucking, I had one gummy, and I was like, you know, they obviously being edibles, they take a little while to kick in, and I got, you know, about an hour and 10 minutes after I had it, I was like, okay, there's the dry mouth. I wonder when the rest of it's going to hit me. And literally, by the time I finished that thought, the big fucking stupid smile was across my face. And like an hour later, I was just laying on the bed, but I was in outer fucking space. Like that shit was like, oh, it was.
The best.
I'm like, how is that good for someone with a low tolerance? Like, Christ Almighty, I was on fucking Pluto with that
Because
shit.
people
man.
with low tolerances shouldn't be fucking with edibles in the first place.
That's-
Yeah, I
that's
heard
the
the
first-
edibles are crazy
Bro,
over there, man.
I don't
Crazy.
fuck with
No,
edibles.
because I don't smoke it though. I can't fucking like I don't smoke it. I hate
Oh,
smoking
no.
it. But you put it in an edible, and I'll be happy all
Yeah,
day.
you should have just eaten half a gummy
Well,
bear.
I did after that because that was
Oh,
all I
you know,
fucking needed.
can I ask you a question? If you could go back and tell your younger self one thing, it would be take half.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Always take half and then wait longer than you think before you take the other
Yeah.
half.
Wish I gave
Uh,
myself that advice in my younger days. Probably still have more hair.
All right. Well, look. Let's wrap it up. So,
whoa,
as
whoa,
we
whoa,
talked
whoa,
about-
whoa! I'm gonna spring one on you.
Sorry, you're gonna spring one on me. Here.
Got a bit of a
okay.
rant this week.
Oh, you got a rant. All right, hang
Just
on.
a
hang on.
tiny, just a tiny
You're
one.
gonna do a, if you're gonna give us a rant, I need a piss break first.
Cool,
So
cool,
let me
cool.
I can take care of that, and then I'll come back and put up with your rant. Okay.
All right. Do that. So just a small one. Just a small one.
Is this something you do every so often on the podcast?
Every so often,
or-
if I got something that's been sort of stewing on me, I sort of give it the podcast time, and if I can't let it go by the end of the podcast, or I got to say something. So, I'll
Oh,
give
so have we inspired you?
well, a little bit. But I've just been stewing over some stuff over the last couple of weeks, and yeah, I'm just like, you know what? I think it's a bit relevant. So
Oh,
when Raph
juicy.
comes back, oh, it's not juicy. It's just more. It's more directed towards the punters more than anything.
Nice.
So, yeah. But have you guys? Oh no, I'll let Raph do that. Oh,
Yeah.
you guys got any shows coming up?
Yeah, we're in the middle of booking a bunch of stuff. To as I said, we've got a bit more music coming, which we're going to announce, and we want to do a bit of a launch run around that. So we'll have some info very soon about later on in the year. But nothing to spruik right now.
Yeah.
But it's all in the works.
That's the main thing, though. That's all we ever love to hear. Like as
Yeah.
long as we'd rather hear that we can't get told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
we're,
mean?
we're looking to getting back into full swing.
Mm.
Yeah, it's
We
good.
did because we did that Power Man 5000 support at the start of the year. That was awesome. That was awesome. So it was a great way to kick off the year. And then we've tried to schedule it. We tried to schedule something around the first single, the Slay For Me thing, but it didn't line up. And yeah, now we'll go, all right, let's get the rest of the year sorted. So
Yeah,
we're
good.
in mode for that now.
Good.
He's back.
Alrighty.
Right, yeah, I'm back. You can stop talking about me now. I'm back.
I'm gonna hit my little cutaway,
Mhm.
and we're gonna do this. It's
All
been a
right.
while.
Never have I ever.
Oh, I've got to hit the wrong one.
Oh,
I
hit the wrong
changed it.
thing. Oh, no.
There it is.
Fuck off, files.
And I hit the wrong one again. Doesn't matter. Rant time.
Right.
Rant time.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
I'm watching it. I'm like, what's
Is
never
my
have
is
I
my
ever?
is my rant time gone? My rant
Yeah.
time's gone.
I don't know. Yeah, we did. Well, we had discussed on, and their new song's called "Never Have I Ever." So
Yeah.
we did a
Oh,
played a game
right.
of "Never Have I
There it
Ever"
is.
with them.
There it is.
Oh.
Hold on. Right cut away. Third time's charm.
Rant
Oh, cool!
time.
You found it. Awesome.
Rant time. Okay. My rant today is basically directed towards all you consumers out there. So, I was actually up until like 12:30 last week talking to Eric.
And yeah, you guys fucking had a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, we had heaps to catch up on. One thing that we touched on, this is what the main rant's about, is people's quick judgments towards music. And I'm done with it, eh? Back in the day when you used to buy a CD, you never used to bitch about the thing in the first 24 hours. Yeah, you might have a couple of judgments, but you used to sit and simmer on it. You used to sit and simmer on an album and absorb it and enjoy it. And one day it would sound like this and you'd be having a good day. And the next day you'd be having a bad day and you listen to it again and it sounds different. And everyone now is so quick that in the first 12 hours of an album coming out, you think you're going to listen to it once and then absolutely decimate it. Man, when you used to buy an album, you used to have to justify your purpose. Now that you're all spoilt for choice, most of you all sound like spoilt little fucking brats. And I'm quite frankly over it. Like this whole things ain't heavy enough. Like if you want to come at me with a constructive argument as to why you don't like said album, man, I'll gladly discuss. We'll back and forth. We'll have a good yarn about it. But if you're ever just going to come out and say it's not like the way they used to, it's not like this, it's not. Don't give me that. Give me some substance to your argument, because it's just spoiled little brat shit at the moment with the way some people are conducting themselves with how quick they are just to shit on an album or just anyone's art in general. So let's get back into the days of sitting and simmering on stuff and singles and albums and enjoying it and actually coming up with a constructive argument as to why you don't like it.
Yeah. And I mean, look, and here's the thing, right? Like, saying that something's not for you because it just doesn't vibe, you just don't vibe with it, is perfectly fine.
Completely
That's perfectly
understandable.
fine. It's when I agree. It's when people are like actively going like saying that's objectively bad. You know, if they say that's objectively bad just because I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think, you know, that might even be a factor of streaming, as you say, making everything available all the time, so
Yeah.
people have access to literally everything, and also part of the change that's happened culturally with social media, and it's a number of these factors coming in, but I think that's all kind of plays into it.
Yeah, but that's where the whole spoiled thing comes into it. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you used to buy an album, you would listen to that album for a week fucking solid. Like that would be all that was in your car. You spent $30 on that thing. I'm justifying my purchase now that I don't have to pay for it.
Because usually that would be the one new album that you would have for like the week
Exactly.
or more.
Exactly. Now that you're
Yeah.
spoilt for choice, you
Now
give
that
it like
literally
one
access
run.
every new album that comes out every single week, you're
I mean,
like,
You're implying that people will give something a whole run.
Yeah.
I don't think
If
if you're not going to give it the whole run, you don't have any right to shit on it.
like, at the end of the day, like I think you'll find that with the way things have gone and the attention deficit disorder of the masses, if someone's not grabbed in the first 10 seconds, they've already hit skip. So
Yeah.
those albums, someone can sit there and listen to the album in about a minute and a half because they've skipped every song after 10 seconds and then let everyone know how shit it is.
Yeah.
And the album came out 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's because they're trying to pump through that one to get to the next one. Spoiled little brats with too much to consume, man, and too much time. You know what? If they spent a little less time trying to shit on it and a little bit proper time listening and absorbing this stuff properly, their outlook might be a little bit different towards the art.
you know what, mate? You know what? It's giving old man yells at cloud vibes.
Oh, no, I'm already there. That's why I
no,
started buying
but
vinyls. Like,
I say
this is
that
the
with
whole
all. I
thing.
say that with all love. I
I
really
know,
do. I say
but
that with all
this
love,
is where like okay, I'm going to use we'll go like Chamberlain, right? You talk to them
Mhm.
boys; those guys have deep dived into the history. They've taken the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like with the way like and admittedly when you deep dive into history, you're deep diving into all the good stuff really, especially because you go like you're going to force yourself into that algorithm and whatever's got the highest hits is what it's going to present to you first. And in
Mm.
some ways, look, I completely understand that Spotify is great because it gives smaller bands more of a platform. I'm mainly talking about bigger bands and bands that have that capacity of bringing out an album a year, two albums a year, and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like they're actively trying to give you something to consume, and then you just don't even mull over it properly. Like in a 12-hour period, bands are any musicians finding out that my album's poo poo, or like, or it's really good, and really like I understand good albums are good albums. You know them straight off the bat, but there are some really good albums that just either you need to revisit or you just need to simmer on it a bit more.
Yeah. And that's
Oh
fair
yeah.
enough.
There's heaps
But
like that. Everyone's got them. They were like, oh, I hated that album when I first heard it, and now I love it. But they're
Issues
never
took
going to
me
get.
issues took me 2 years to simmer on. Corn Issues. I simmered on that thing for two
I mean,
years.
Yeah,
this has been going on for forever though. Like, I mean, we all remember when Slipknot released Volume 3, and half the fucking fans were like, "Oh, it's shit. It's got too much clean singing in it." And now
One of their
Volume
best
3,
fucking
now
albums.
Volume 3 is looked at as one of their greatest albums ever.
Said that from day
Or and
dot.
and it happened with
Yeah.
every fucking album that they released after that. Every album they released, it was the same cycle. It had come out, half the fan base is like, "Oh, it's shit. I fucking hate it. It's their worst album ever." And then 2 years later, that they fucking love it and they're
Because
singing
they
it all along. And then
simmer
the
on
next
it.
album comes out, and they say
yeah.
the same thing over and over again.
To beer buddy, to your point, that's the thing. When they're not giving it that, there's no simmer time. That's the ability to do. That's like
Mm.
going and going and going. Like if it hasn't grabbed me, then I'm never going to revisit it.
No,
And
and it's a
yeah,
word like I've listened to songs from people that we've had on here, and I'll listen to it on one day, and for some reason it's not getting me, and then I'll listen to it on the next day. I've had a better day in the car, like better day at work, whatever in the car. It hits different on a different
Well,
day. It'll hit different.
I guess the other thing with that is, if you think about that, sometimes when you listen to something in the car, it just sounds great while you're driving.
yeah,
Or the other thing you get is like, I really didn't like this band I heard, but I listened to it on my phone speaker. Like, it just
yeah.
didn't
True,
sound good.
true.
And it's
Yeah,
like, yeah, because it's a fucking phone speaker. No band is going to sound good.
you do
Like,
understand that there's 5 people in that band, and you're listening to a speaker like this big.
yeah,
Yeah,
like, I mean,
trying to
I
get a
remember
football
when I
team through a door frame.
Mm?
like I remember briefly I joined this band that I'm still in, and would send a demo through, and would specifically be saying, "Do not listen on your laptop speakers."
Yeah.
I think they eventually paid attention to me.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
almost
yeah.
like you need to when you give people the CD, you need to give them a set of headphones just to make sure they listen to it on something decent, like a decent set of headphones or something.
Yeah.
And Hazard Halo said it here, yeah, attention spans are so much shorter now. Thanks to social media conditioning, people are too impatient.
Yeah.
And
But I
it's
mean,
so
like,
true.
look, it's the culture. It's the same with video games.
Yeah.
Like a game comes out, and then everyone's just like, "This is the shittest thing ever," and abusing the people who made it.
Yeah, but to be fair,
Like,
when you're bringing out 100, when I'm paying $70 for a game and you're doing 100 fucking gig patch on the day,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
get
mean,
the
That's
shits.
that's down to the
yeah, but in saying that,
the
could you then?
executives. That's not down to the developers though.
No, no.
And this is what we're talking. Like, this is what I think Wade's talking about is like people will be making literal like death threats against the developers or saying they should kill themselves
Yep.
because because that person doesn't personally like the game.
Yep.
Like,
And really,
Yeah.
it says actually more about you
Yeah,
when you come out
That's
and
it.
shit on something that quick. It says more about you as a person and your attitude towards things than it does against the musician.
yeah.
yeah. All right.
But that's
well,
my rant. That's my rant.
Nice rant. That was good, mate.
Right. Let's take it home, boys. Let's take it home. So once again, Slay for me. That's been out for a little while. Go and
Ooh.
have a few fucking spins on that one. Still Breathing, featuring CJ McMahon. That's coming out on 16th of June. Trust me, you will want to fucking listen to this song. it's gonna be you're gonna hear it and it's gonna be on your fucking playlists. You're gonna want to fucking listen to this shit because it is so goddamn good. Production's on point, the fucking features on point. This is probably, and look, I don't, I know everyone's always like, oh, this is our best song we've ever done, or everyone wants to think they're always bringing out the best stuff when they're bringing out their new stuff. But like I genuinely feel as someone that's followed Our Last Enemy for a very long time now, I really feel like this is one of the best songs that Our Last Enemy has ever
Cool.
put out.
Thank,
It's
thanks,
pretty
dude.
cool.
Big call, man. Thank you so much.
Really, really, really impressed with that. Cannot wait to see what more is coming with after that one. Now I believe you guys mentioned earlier you were trying to wrangle a tour before the end of the year.
Yeah, yeah. We
Is that
we
right?
had we had a little chat
We
with
did
me,
have a
buddy,
little
while you were
chat.
in the
Yeah,
John.
Oh, okay, right,
I had to talk
right.
about something.
Had to talk about something. Okay, yes. So keep your eyes on Our Last Enemy's socials for
Yep.
news about that one. And once again, yep, that new metal mayhem tour that's been fucking announced. Go and get your tickets for that one as well. Monday, 12th of June. That's going to be amazing. I think for a lot of people,
That's
I think I said it on my own personal post. I think it's the tour that a lot of people kind of didn't realize they wanted until they saw it, and now the opportunity to see, Waylon doing stuff from Achilles Confession and Mushroom Head. I don't think has Achilles Confession toured out here yet since they
I
started
don't
in
think so. No,
2016. So that's going to be an incredible experience. I think. Well, what was it? Mushroom Head when they were out here in
they had the three
2012 or
singers.
whatever. That was like the first time ever
Soundwave.
they'd do it out here, right?
Yeah.
It's still the only time.
Yeah.
wow.
I'm pretty
So
sure I think Jeff Nothing came out in a solo tour
yes, he did because
beforehand.
Tensions Arise supported him on that.
Yeah, and then
The
Mushroom
Overture.
Head. Yeah, that was when they had three singers.
Yes, that was in the period when J Man was back as well, which was awesome. I'm stoked I got to see him on that one as well.
It was great.
But yeah, so first time that we're gonna get Waylon coming out doing this Killer's Confession stuff, and obviously he's gonna be doing some Mushroom Head stuff as well, and Anders doing that fucking Mate Feed Kill Repeat album. Holy shit!
Now,
Like,
just out of curiosity, I have noticed on that there's two sides to that. Are all the bands on the right hand side playing at the Sydney shows?
the bands, I believe, the bands that are on the poster are on the whole tour.
Who's the promoter on that one again?
Fuck.
So I think that Chaosis have actually put that one together themselves, if I'm
Oh,
not mistaken.
really?
Yeah, yeah. So
So
Chaosis have
11th of
organised
October,
that.
Oxford Art Factory.
Yep.
I'm getting
Yeah,
my
so I'll just
ticket.
rattle off
Getting my
just
ticket.
rattle off the dates on that really quick. 11th of October at Crowbar in Sydney. 12th of
Oh, it was
October at Enigma
Crowbar.
Bar in
Even better.
Adelaide. Love that venue out there. 13th of October at Bendigo Hotel in Melbourne. 14th of October, Mansfield Tavern in Brisbane. 15th of October, Moe's Desert Clubhouse on the Gold Coast. Queensland's really getting a treat on this one. 16th of October, they're playing at Irish Club Hotel in Toowoomba. Then they're heading across the ditch to Aotearoa. They're going to be 18th of October in Auckland, 19th of October at Taranaki, 20th of October in Wellington, 21st of October at Christchurch, 22nd of October at Queenstown, 23rd of October at Dunedin. So New Zealand's getting a fucking treat as well.
Jeez, my back
That
hurts.
that's that is a solid fucking lineup. And yep, you got
Jeez, that's
yep,
stacked.
yep, you got Anders doing that Mate Feed Kill Repeat album in full, which is
Dude,
amazing.
that is history.
Are we all ready for a bit of? Because
Yeah.
yeah, we need to get some of that in there. And yes, Chaosis, Sin Soto, and Piston Fist are going to be on all those shows as well.
Oh.
So www.newmetalmayhem.com. There is some VIP packages for that too, I believe. So make sure that
really?
you are checking that out. I'm fucking excited for that.
I'm
I'm going to
getting a
be there
fucking
one way or
VIP
another, I'm
ticket.
sure. One way or another, I'm sure that's going to be fucking incredible. And in terms of us, next week, as we said, we have the 1 year anniversary special. That's going to be great. We're just going to be kicking it off a little bit earlier, having a bunch of drinks. It'll be a bit like our New Year's special. So people might be popping in and out. We're just going to be having a lot of fun. We will definitely check out that candy pane stuff for a little bit of
Oh
fun there.
yeah,
And
yeah,
we
yeah.
will go to the.
I didn't show you.
We will find that Spotify site that's got all the songs with 0 plays and have a listen
Oh
to some of
yeah,
them.
we're gonna
That'll
fuck
be very
fuck
fun.
some lists up.
That is only going to be on Twitch. It's only going to be on the live stream. That's not getting put up on YouTube afterwards. So make sure that you're tuning in for that one. That'll be a really good one. And I'm not not gonna give any details just yet, but
Don't tell him.
I'm not giving any details.
Don't
But
tell him.
please, I'm telling you, what I will say is, pay attention to our social media tomorrow, because we may have a very, very special episode happening as an extra one this week. Fingers crossed that it happens.
Yeah. Can I say it?
We got it queued up.
Watch
We
this
got it queued
space.
up. But pay attention, because it's gonna be it's probably gonna be our biggest guest to date, and I'm packing it. So yeah, that's all I'll say. But keep an eye on our page tomorrow, because you will hopefully be hearing about it. And I'm gonna look like a fucking moron if it doesn't happen now, but that's all right. It's not the first time. All right. So thank you very much once again to Ollie and Wade for tuning in. It was amazing to chat to you guys.
Absolute legends. Don't go anywhere, people, because we're playing the video clip.
Don't go anywhere. Yes, we'll be playing the film clip for
Slay for me.
what is it? For Slay for Me.
Right.
And yeah, as I said, keep tuned. Just keep your eyes on the social medias. But 16th of June, Still Breathing's coming out. Can't wait. You guys are gonna be fucking blown away. As always, though, once again, thank you to our guests. Thank you to my
Thank you.
my co-host Beer Buddy. And we always say it, the world's been pretty crazy for the last few years. Let's just try and take care of each other, be kind to ourselves and each other and the people around us, because no one's getting out of this alive. So we need to try and make sure we can do the best for ourselves and those around us while we're here. So be kind to yourselves, be kind to one another. We're out of here. This is Slay for Me by Our Last Enemy. Thank you so much, everybody.
Peace.